Excellent. Thank you so much, Elena. So once again, good afternoon, and welcome to Community Education Council District 28, April 2023 calendar and business meeting. We want to welcome the entire community, all stakeholders, friends, and neighbors, and principals, and administrators, and a wonderful CEC28 team that is here tonight. Special welcome to all of our principals who are present tonight with us. If you are able to just rename yourself and just put the word principal next in the front of your name, we'll really appreciate it. So we can always know which principals are joining us. We would love to highlight our principals. Before we move any further, I would like to ask our amazing secretary to please do the roll call.
President Vijay Ramjat.
Present.
First Vice President Barbara Williams.
I'm here.
Second Vice President Ted Chang. I did not see Ted coming in. But
he is here. I saw him in, but I think he's having some technical issues or can't able to. But I did let him in twice already. So, but he's present.
Okay. Treasurer Lu Zhao.
Here.
Myself, Recording Secretary Elena Minow is here. Member Natifa Lewis. Here. Member Simone Dornbach.
Here.
Member Cassandra Alexander.
Not excused.
Right. Member Shaliza Dean.
Here for a moment.
Yes.
All right. Members Rajwinder Kaur.
Here.
Okay, we're done.
Thank you so much, Elena. I would like to ask our council member Simone Dornbach to please make an announcement about the chat feature. Simone.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. The chat is now open. You can use it to ask questions. You can use it to sign up to make a public comment. Please remain friendly and polite when you share your concerns and questions. And I will post this into the chat again. So if you would like to make a public comment later on, please type in your name and speak. Thank you.
Thank you, Simone. So yeah, just write the word speak. So Vanessa Sparks got it already. She's on it. Just write the word speak, and then we'll list your name in the order in which you put the word speak. So we'll call you for our public comment section later on in the meeting, because we want to hear your voices. This is a platform for all of you. We also want to remind you, I want to make a correction. Cassandra did email and she is not going to be here tonight, so she is excused. Just for the record, Cassandra is excused. And also, we want to reserve the right to take down the chat if it becomes not polite or friendly. We will definitely reserve the right to do so. Thank you so much. And for all those who are celebrating Eid, who's celebrating the holidays and Passover and all these wonderful holidays, happy all the holidays, and thank you for being here. And with that in mind, we're going to try to make our meeting tonight very go, present, so that way we can definitely be mindful for those who are celebrating Ramadan, who has to fast and break their fast, etc., and be respectful of that. So without further ado, my report is coming along. It's coming along very short. Yours truly was nominated and elected to be one of the members of the PEP nominating committee to elect and to vote for the parents that will be signing up to represent. With the new law, we're going to have 2 representatives from each borough on the PEP going forward. So yours truly here was selected as well, was nominated as one of the presidents to be part of the committee. And I'll do my best to make sure Queens have the best representatives to represent our concerns on the PEP, our values, our initiatives, and also to hold them accountable, right? Because at the end of the day, they're voting on big things, really big things, right? So that affects you and me, and most importantly, our money, right, and our children. So that's very important. The money is where it goes. So that's for sure. And I'm also, I've always been very transparent to all of you here. I am part of the Class Size Matters committee, a working group to enroll, to unveil, and to implement the law to make sure the class sizes it's happening the way it's supposed to happen going forward for a new coming up year in fall. So I'm part of that working group also. And again, we want to make sure that our classrooms, as we know in Queens here, we don't have enough seats. So we need more seats, we need more schools. So how can we elevate all of that? I'm taking all of your feedback, parents, all of your feedback stakeholders to these meetings as part of this initiative that I'm being part of. CEC28 has been very busy. We have been doing a lot, right? So we postponed our meeting, takes place on the first Thursday of every month. However, we pushed it back because it was spring break. And we wanted you all to have your spring break, every one of you, including us, right? Because we're parents too. So we pushed our meeting back till this week to accommodate our families, and also there were some religious observances, so we can have our meeting. That's why it's happening today on the 20th and not the 5th. So our next meeting, our next calendar meeting will be on May, I'll tell you exactly when, May 4th will be our next calendar meeting, not the 20th. Okay, so back to the schedule, which is the first Thursday of every month. We have been busy planning a lot of the good stuff in the district. We're having our second annual principal legislative breakfast. Yay, yay. We're trying to really make a really strong partnership and a lasting relationship with our elected officials. We, the people, they are serving by the people, for the people, right? And we, the people, are parents with children in this district. So they need to understand who we are, our needs are, and also how to support and fund our schools with what we need. They have lots of funds they can send around. So we want to make sure we are partnering with them the right way to do so. And this is taking place on May 5th, the Friday after our meeting. And we cannot have everybody. Well, trust me, I would love to rent Radio City Music Hall and have all of you there. We cannot, right? So this is, at this point in time, is for principals, parent coordinators, elected officials, parent leaders who are PTA presidents and vice presidents, and the CEC council members and the district office also. So if you have not done so already, you need to RSVP so we can provide food for you, right? And we can make sure you have a seat for you. We are preparing a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes for this. And also our team is also busy preparing our end of year celebration, which will be for the entire district. The end of year celebration will be for the entire district, and we'll be putting out the dates for that also. And we are coming down to the second year of this CEC cycle. So all the council members who are on board with us tonight, who's been here, that is myself, Barbara Williams, Ted Chang, Elena, Lu Zhao, Rajwinder, Cassandra, Shaliza, Natifa, and Simone. Our cycle for this is ending this year. And we are going to have CEC elections again coming up for the next 2 years. And those people who have already signed up, we're going to be having the candidate discussions and elections coming up very soon. So thank you all for doing that and volunteering to sign up to serve this community. To Bruce Zihal from UFT, our district representative, thank you for being a force to reckon with and to be present always, and to really holding us and everyone together. We thank you for your partnership, Bruce. Thank you so much. So without further ado, my dear friends, we have some exciting news. We have an amazing, she's not new to education. She's not new to serving, and she's not new to what she does best, which is advocating for, promoting, and upholding the values and integrity of education. And it gives me great honor today. Our Dr. Pate is not in town, but trust me, we are in very good hands also with her deputy superintendent. For the first time you all are meeting her, we have Dr. Chanel Hall, and she will be speaking to us today. Dr. Hall?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, President VJ, for that warm welcome. And thank you, everyone, for being out this evening. In the absence of our beloved Dr. Pate, I just want to say thank you once again for all of you for being out tonight. Yesterday, I had the wonderful opportunity to meet the CEC board, and I was able to introduce myself there. So if you were on the board and you were on last night, you're going to hear some of the same things you heard last night, along with some additional information that our Director of Operations and Support Special Projects, Raj, and I will share, and as well as Principal Tushman will share about some things that are happening in our district. So just before I go any further, I just want to say how heartwarming it is to be in a Zoom room full of leaders. I see each of you as educational leaders, whether you're an elected official, a school leader, a parent, you're a leader. The fact that you're on this call tonight says that you believe in the power of education, and you know that that is the tool, that's the lever that's going to make the difference for the next generation. So I honor you and I thank you for being here this evening. So I'm going to share my screen and jump into this evening's report. Oh, you're getting a sneak peek there. All right, so here is the April 2023 Superintendent's Report, and we know our wonderful superintendent is Dr. Tammy Pate. So just a little bit about myself. As President VJ shared, I am not new to education. I've been doing this for the past 18 years and have exceptionally served in New York City public and charter schools in the following capacities: teacher, AIS provider, literacy coach, data specialist, assistant principal, director of school renewal, and most recently, the principal of the Walter Francis White School in Brownsville. I believe that all children deserve a high-quality education from skillful, trusted adults who believe in their capacity to learn. The only way we can have high expectations of our scholars is if we first believe that they can succeed. So that's where it begins, a belief in the fact that all of our scholars can do well. My study for my dissertation was around collaborative leadership practices, which is why I'm so excited to see so many leaders. Once again, I'm using the term leaders on the call today, because collaboratively, we can make the differences that we want to see in our district. So because we are a leadership team on this call, we'll work together to see the vision realized. In my role as deputy superintendent, I will uphold the district's vision to strive for the inestimable contributions to the lives of our scholars. How? By engaging all stakeholders regularly through strategic data analysis and outlining a plan for sustained improvement. I will partner with the families, school and district leaders, local community-based organizations, and elected officials to ensure our district's goals are realized. I'm not going to read this all to you, but I'm just going to go through this next slide of just a few areas of leadership impact, and then we'll get into the district report. So year one of the principalship, I believe in being intentional around social emotional best practices. In the school that I led, in 1 year, we were off the potentially persistently dangerous list. When I arrived, the school was on the list, but in 1 year, we were off the list. And how did we do it? Through intentional social emotional best practices. Within the first 2 years, our academic proficiency increased by an average of 12%. That's across both ELA and math. And how did we do it? Through comprehensive data analysis, action planning, and RTI and an MTSS plan to meet the needs of all learners. We moved in the first year from 33 to 27%, the first 2 years, students to least restrictive environments, because once again, the goal is to ensure that all students, no matter the demographic, no matter the classification, have the best opportunity to succeed. I'm gonna move right along. Who am I? So apart from everything else that you heard about all of these titles and these dissertations and all of these things, who is Chanel Hall? I am from the rich soil of the West Indies, born and raised in Flatbush, Brooklyn, and former resident of Jamaica, Queens. I am from cook-up rice, roti and curry, bacon saltfish, and celebrating every Christmas with spicy pepper pot. I'm a wife, middle child, mother of 4, friend to many, and sister of few. I'm a hair enthusiast, lover of creating special stews and listening to music and vlogs that feed my soul. I am a bright colors fanatic, lover of funky patterns and lazy Saturdays with family. I am a compassionate leader and learner. I am Chanel Hall. And what you see to the left is my family of origin. I like to call them my mom and dad and my sisters. That's me on the far left. The bottom you see is my husband and our children. We tried to recreate a picture from a few years ago. So that's just a sneak peek into my my personal life and my professional life. So I just want to say once again, thank you all for welcoming me into your community.
Thank you. Just so those who didn't just join in, Dr. Hall is our new Deputy Superintendent for District 28. She's our very own. She's not going anywhere anymore. She's here to stay forever.
Glad to be here. So the next thing I want to share is the shifts that the New York City Department of Education is making around core curriculum. So very recently, the department, the Division of School Leadership, has asked districts across the city to begin thinking about one common curriculum across the district. And why would that be? Essentially, it's so that districts can monitor progress and compare apples to apples, not apples to oranges, right? So when a superintendent is looking at the progress of their schools, they can say, okay, well, you know what, all of the schools in the district are offering the same curriculum, they are testing based on the same standards at the same time of year, so it helps with progress monitoring. That's the ultimate goal. Are we there yet across the city? No, but what's happening now is that they're beginning to have those conversations. So there are different districts that are in different phases of that process. We're going to find out early next week what phase District 28 is in. Bruce, you're on, right? We had a conversation earlier today about that. Bruce, the UFT district representative. We had a conversation about that earlier today. And the summary of that conversation was that by early next week, I will be able to, Dr. Payton and I will be able to provide that information around what phase our district is in so that we can advise our leaders on how to make their opt-in or opt-out selections for the core curriculum. So what we did as a district, and I want to thank Principal Lau because I saw that he's on tonight. Principal Lau was very instrumental in helping us as a district to gather information across District 28 around what our principals needed to be able to get to the stage of a common curriculum. So what he did was he put together a survey and he used the ELA offerings that the Department of Education provided and the math offerings and asked principals which program they felt they would best be able to implement in their building based on where they are as a school for ELA and for math. So as a result of the survey, we learned that, well, first of our 36 principals, 23 responded to the survey. 17 principals selected HMH as their program of choice for ELA. 6 principals selected expeditionary learning as their program of choice. Of the 17 that selected HMH, 60% indicated that extensive support would be needed to implement that program. And of the 6 that selected expeditionary learning, 65.2% indicated extensive support would be needed. So with that information, we're able to come back to the district team and really begin to think about the resources and the supports that we can provide as a district, so that when we go to our school leaders, we're able to say, well, you know what, based on what you all shared, this is the best course of action. Those decisions have not been made yet, but it seems as though based on the survey, most of our principals have a preference for HMH over expeditionary learning. And that is the lean so far in the district. We also have to be cognizant of the fact that we have a number of schools that are using Teachers College reading and writing program, which is not an option. So that would be a pivot, a change for some of our schools. And we know that we would need time to do that effectively. So for math, of the 17 principals, of the 23 principals, 17 selected Envision Math, 34.8% indicated that extensive support would be needed. 3 principals selected Eureka Math and 91% indicated that extensive support would be needed. And 2 of our principals selected Illustrative Math and 95% indicated extensive support would be needed, which we can clearly see there's a lean towards Envision Math as a selection for our district, and in ELA, there's a lean to HMH. No final decisions have been made, but we want to keep you abreast as we go through this process. All right, so I'm going to hand it over to Raj, who's going to take us through those are my 4 children, who's going to take us through some items on who's gonna take us through some items on summarizing? Raj, are you there?
He can unmute.
Okay, Raj, I'll go through the slides for you.
I'm okay.
Okay,
I have access now. Okay, here we go. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you,
Yes,
Raj.
we can.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here with you this evening. Welcome, Dr. Hall, again. It's been a pleasure
you,
working
Raj.
with you over the last few weeks, and we've made the right choice. She's all in about servicing children, which is, as you know, my commitment. And Dr. Pate's, kids always come first at all costs, right? We want to make sure that they have a future that is strong and they're committed to learning and to their passions, right? They're invested in that. So with that said, can you believe it? It's April and we're heading into May. And with that, summarizing, right? So I'm coordinating that this year. So the window has opened as of April 17th and is going to stay open until May 1st. A week after May 1st, DOE will inform families as to whether or not they've been accepted into summarizing. The programming dates are very consistent with last year's. K to 5 will be from July 5th to August 18th. 6 to 8 will be from July 5th to August 11th. The programming hours are the same as last year, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. with DYCD running the after-school programs until 6 p.m. Right. Our 12-month IEP program dates are as follows. District 75 will be from July 6th to August 15th. The extended school year will run from July 5th to August 14th. Students with the autism spectrum and disorder will run from July 5th to August 1st. And students with 12-month IEPs, their programming will be a little bit different. They'll participate in extended day programs, but it will end at different times. August 11th for grades 6 through 8 and August 18th for grades K through 5. So as of right now, this is the outline DOE has provided us, and I do not think these dates are going to change. Next slide, please. The enrollment process is going to be quite different from last year. Last year, it was a very open process. This year, it will contain, these are the 4 or 5 criteria that they're going to really lean in to make their primary decisions as to who's going to attend. Students that will be identified for mandated summarizing, that will be done at the school level by the principal and the leadership team there, as well as teachers. Preferences will be provided to students in temporary housing, as well as the students that are in foster care. Our 12-month IEP programs will also receive priority. Students enrolled in CBO programs and after-school programs will once again be prioritized, as well as students from the homeschool and the affiliated schools. The affiliated schools are schools that a particular host site is assigned to specific schools for them to attend. For example, Q139 will have a list of schools that are assigned, that are affiliated with that schools, and those students will attend that particular site. So that's these are the 5 criteria that they're going to use this year to make decisions. As of right now, from my understanding, the enrollment is exceeding the capacity of some of the schools because our families are really interested in sending our scholars to summarizing programs. So we'll see what happens as to how many students will be accepted for seats in the summarizing programs, which is 10 locations this year. Right. Next slide, please. Transportation. I know this is a big issue and it was an issue last year, and it started off as a bit of an issue this year with busing. Busing will be provided for students that are currently receiving busing services, but the caveat to that will be that busing will end after 3 p.m. So after 3 p.m., busing will not be offered if the child is staying to 6 p.m. But we're going to try to work out a system where if a child wants to stay until 6 p.m., possibly Metro cards could be offered as an option. For 6 p.m. share rides are also available specifically for students in temporary housing and students in foster care. But as you know, when community and families feel like there's a need, you can always reach out to us and we'll do our utmost to ensure that we do our best to make sure the service is rendered. All right, next slide, please. Attendance. So our current attendance is at 91%, which is a bit of a small uptick. We're fluctuating between 90, 91, 92, depending on the week. It continues to be an issue, as Dr. Pate has mentioned, particularly for our students that are long-term travelers. That's a bit of a concern for us. And we're still working with all of our schools and their attendance teams and the leaders to address those issues. We have finalized our partnership with Graduation Alliance. They have merged our student data sets with their programs. So that's going to be active as of this week moving forward. So identified students at our tier 2 schools principals and their attendance teams will identify students that need support, and a coach will be assigned from Graduation Alliance to support the family and the child or children to improve attendance. So I'm excited about that initiative. It's something that DOE has paid for, and I'm looking forward to see the impact that it's going to have on our schools and the scholars that are going to be identified for support. So with that said, I think that ends my my segment. Again, welcome, Dr. Hall, and any questions or concerns about summarizing, please reach out to the district office and your identified schools, and we will make sure it happens for you. You know that.
Thank you so much, Raj. Thank you for the warm welcome and for supporting me in this transition. I really appreciate it. So we have reached the portion of the presentation where we are going to highlight 2 of our principals, 2 of our schools, PS 28Q175 and 28Q349. So some of you may be aware of the Lighthouse Collaborative. It is similar to, what was it called before, Showcase Schools under Carmen Farina, where it's an opportunity for districts and for schools to highlight best practices across the entire system. In this way, schools are able to sign up to visit a school that's highlighting a best practice in their building, and that high leverage practice gets to be shared across the city of New York. And I'm honored to say that 2 of our principals, Principal Tanya Bates Howell and Principal Angela Tushman, were selected as Lighthouse schools this year. We can clap it up for them virtually or by our hands. And on March 20th and on April 4th, both school leaders opened their school doors to educators across the city, and they showcase best practices. So what we wanted to do tonight was to give you a sneak peek on some of what the city saw in 2 of our buildings. And Principal Bates Howell is out of town, so she's not able to be on, but she did send in a video that her team worked on and put on YouTube. So I'm going to share that video. And Principal Tushman, thank you. Principal Tushman is here this evening, and she's going to share some of the next steps that result from the Lighthouse visit. So we have a short video to share from Principal Tushman's school, and then she's going to take the last few minutes to share what the next steps are. I'm going to go right into Principal Bates Howell's video, and then I'm going to come back and introduce Principal Tushman to share. President VJ, if we're low on time, let me know, because this is 4 minutes and 11 seconds. Is that too long?
It's fine. This is one of the presentations. This is one of the principals.
Yes.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
And there's this, you have to share the sound, right? Because I don't think we can hear it yet.
Oh, you're not hearing. Okay, let me.
You have to share the sound on your.
Yeah, you have to stop sharing, and then when you share your screen, there's an option there to select with audio, please.
Okay, let me stop sharing.
You
We
got it.
have an exciting celebration to share. Did you know PS349 is a New York City Department of Education White House collaboration model school.
On March 20, over 60 principals, assistant principals, and teachers came to PS 349 to learn all the amazing things we are doing in our classroom, especially how we support multilingual learners in developing academy discussions and vocabulary.
25% of the students at PS 349 are English language learners, and we have 609 students all together. Our teachers work hard to plan and make sure everyone in our class gets all the support they need.
Check out all the amazing things that happened at PS 349 during the Lighthouse Collaborate visit. Yay!
First grade readers were working on making the pictures in their stories move. They imagined and visualized the story by acting it out with their partners as they read to help them build comprehension. In small groups, students worked on their phonics skills, comprehension, and bookmaking. Students also used the See, Think, Wonder protocol throughout the lesson. Second grade readers were working in their fiction book clubs. They synergized with their book club by reviewing the text and discussing story elements they come across using text evidence. During the mini lesson, all students had a leadership role. Students were stopping and jotting to prepare for their book club discussion. For grade readers are getting ready to take the ELA test, state test. In this test prep lesson, students were engaged in a Paideia seminar based on the test passes. Reaching for the top after reading, students were engaged in a discussion of the text, vocabulary used in text, and Ms. Ginsburg and student teacher Ms. Jonas served as moderators.
Fifth grade mathematicians were classifying 2D figures into categories based on their properties and attributes. In this lesson, students defined rectangles and rhombuses by analyzing their attributes. With their groups, students compared and contrasted rhombuses and rectangles using the mathematical vocabulary. In their math rotations, students worked on the Volume-Ville PBL error analysis, Paideia seminar, exemplars, and in small groups with their teachers. After visiting classrooms, our visitors got to choose their breakout session, led by a PSP 49 staff member, such as supporting language development, planning rigorous small group instructions, supporting teachers, and a teacher Q&A sessions. I also heard that Miss Howell ordered the visitors a very yummy lunch and breakfast.
We hope you will get a chance to come see the amazing learning happened at PS 349 school.
Yay!
Thank you, PS 349, for the video. And if you're here from PS 349, please take the gratitude from the CEC and from the district team back to your school. The next video I'm going to share is from the Lighthouse visit back to our wonderful leaders, the Lighthouse visit at Principal Angela Tishman's school. This one is, it's a short reel, and then I'm going to hand it over. As soon as the video is over, Principal Tishman, I'm going to ask you to just jump in and just talk about what some of the next steps will be. hoping it will let me click it.
Should she start and we get the link after? Yeah.
Yes, sure. Principal Tishman, go right ahead.
Thanks.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Thank you, Dr. Hall, for asking me to be here tonight to talk with everybody about this amazing opportunity. I do want to say again, publicly, welcome. We are very happy to have you. But I also want to say that watching that video from Principal Bates Howell's school gave me the chills all over again, because I actually was there in at the visit, at her lighthouse visit, and as adorable and amazing as those kids' presentation was, I can't even tell you what it was like physically being in that building to see what was going on there. So my school is also a lighthouse school. And so basically we are a lighthouse school showcasing our promising practices around our school-wide exploration program, which is an opportunity for children to engage in what you would normally think of as enrichment courses every week, that are focused within 4 different, what we have created, departments, and each of those departments aligned to career readiness and high school, a vision for high school application process. So I know that sounds crazy that we're in elementary school and we're thinking about the process of high school and career, but I do feel strongly about the fact that kids have to know, parents have to know what it is that what they have opportunity to and what they want to explore further. We cannot ask students and families to make decisions about high schools and beyond when they don't know what that means and what those opportunities look like, and when they don't know what they want to explore, right? And what they don't like. They have to have the opportunity to find what they don't like as much as what they do like. So we have created this opportunity that will hopefully support students in their high school readiness, their career readiness. And so students take these courses, 3 different courses. Of course, the minute you start talking, your dogs bark. I hope you don't hear them. That they have 3 different courses over the school year. And each of those courses, like I said, is aligned to a department that is focused on a career opportunity for them. This program has impacted our students' engagement, attendance, collaboration within our school, collaboration with other schools across the district and across the city. We have provided opportunities and access for students with IEPs and ENL students by giving them an opportunity to have a level playing field as far as not needing to be on grade level with reading or math or proficient in English to participate. So it's created more emotional support for our struggling students, for more opportunities for students to participate in the general education setting. And I think, and I can see that some of our parents, my parents are here, it's definitely increased parent engagement and participation within the school. Through this work that we've been doing, I've been able to create ongoing partnerships with Thomas Edison High School, Townsend Harris High School, the Harbor School, and the Billion Oyster Project. We're now collaborating with Middle School 217 to support them in their endeavor to launch some of the work that they were able to see in the practices they observed when they came to our lighthouse visit in March. And 217 now has a team of teachers and administrators that are going to work side by side with my teachers and administrators to launch some of the things that they're thinking about doing. So it's been a really exciting opportunity, and I really hope that this will create a lasting impact on our district, my students, my families, their exposure to high school, career, seeing what the entire city has to offer, because although District 28 and Queens is awesome, the best, there is so much opportunity across New York City public schools for students for middle and high school and then college. So I really hope to broaden that exposure because I do believe that students need opportunities to find their passion, excel in their passion, and explore opportunities around them. And I have had the opportunity through the work I've been doing at my school to visit many, many schools. I have been doing outreach to schools and principals across the city for the last 4 years, taking my staff on little field trips to high schools around the city. We have many more planned, and we've we've done many already in order to increase their exposure and their awareness of what exists across our school system for staff to learn from each other. So that's really it in a nutshell. And I'm really excited about my next Lighthouse visit, which will be in June. And we'll have another citywide audience where people will come again from other schools across the city. I've had many principals from other districts also reach out and say they had a great time at our school. They loved what we were doing, and how can we help them to do some of this exciting work. Just to give you an example, we have programs such as woodworking, cooking, robotics, drones, coding drones. We have 3D printing. We have Model UN, which is normally not a program you see at the elementary school level, and many, many more. But I see Dr. Hall has the video up, so that's my cue to stop my talking. And any of you are welcome anytime. It doesn't have to be a Lighthouse visit. I would love to bring you in and show you our building. So please just reach out if you'd like to visit.
Thank you so much, Principal Tushman. And now you'll get a sneak peek into what some of us saw on that day. So once again, thank you all. And thank you, Principal Tushman, for the wonderful presentation. And thank you everyone for being here this evening. President VJ here ends the superintendent's report for April 2023. And I thank you all.
Thank you so much. Wow, district is ever amazing, always, and so much we don't know, right? But I'm so happy you are coming and showcasing the schools and districts and what's happening inside the school, right? Everyone knows what's happening. Dr. Hall is our new deputy superintendent. Many of you may have recalled Ms. Sue Kong retired, and we miss her. And we have Dr. Hall, who is now filling that role for the district as the new the deputy superintendent for District 28. Dr. Pate is doing well. She'll be back next month. And we miss her as always, and she's ever able, and we love her a lot. Thank you, Raj, for always doing a wonderful job of bringing us the data. One of the questions that we had, Raj, and one thing that was really stressful, and please take this feedback that I heard from a lot of parents, is that why have to select 3 schools and you can't tell where the 3 schools are for summarizing? So a lot of parents don't know where the schools are located because it's not a map. So when you click on the link to see which schools you can choose from, because I applied myself for my 3 kids, you can't tell which school is where, and it's just so confusing. And one of the best things they can do is really just put a map up and see where schools are located. That would be the best advice I could give.
Thank you for the feedback. I'm actually having a meeting with our central point, and I'll make that a conversation point for them to maybe think about making it more accessible for our families to make decisions as to which locations.
But families just know which school their kids go to. They don't know the schools down the block, trust me, or the school 3 blocks from here. So they don't know where the proximity to what they're choosing, Right.
So that's because they're still working on finalizing the list. But to your point, like, once the schools have been identified, I think having a map out would be very helpful for families to know where they're going. But once the list is finalized on the 28th of this month, I will message it out to the families and they will communicate those locations and sites to your families. But that's going to be a little bit late. I do understand because they're already registering, right? So
right, but we can modify our asks. So once you get that list, if you can send it to the CEC, we can blast it out to our families through our network. So families go to our website, our amazing administrative assistant, Dorinda, going to put the link on the chat where to sign up to get notifications from CEC28, and we'll blast it to all of you. Say, hey, here's information. Modify. Make it make sense, you know. We don't want 1,000 kids, families at the day of school to say, where's my kids gonna go? But thank you so much, and thank you all for your
Agreed.
wonderful work.
So on the 28th, I will email that to you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you
You're
so
very
much. We're gonna move right along with our agenda tonight. We have our President's Council President. Her name is Adriana Lissier, and she's presenting on behalf of President's Council. Adriana, are you able to unmute? There you are.
I am. Thank you.
Sure. And we have 5 to 7 minutes for your presentation. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it will take that long, but
Yay. Okay. Good.
we can make it happen. Dorinda, do you have the deck or should I share it here? Me? Okay. One moment.
Yeah, you can go ahead and share.
I cannot. My share has been disabled.
Yeah, we're gonna allow that to happen in a second. They're on it. This team is great.
Thank
Try
you.
again. You see the superpowers?
Fabulous. Fabulous. Women are elite. Okay, here we go. One moment.
Shall we come back to you, Adriana?
If you don't mind, Can you guys see my screen?
No.
Oh boy. Okay, let's try again. That doesn't look like it's working. Let's try something else. 1 second.
Okay, so what we'll do in the meantime, we'll just find your deck for you and we can share it for you on your behalf.
That would be fabulous. Thank you. It is just not allowing me to, it's
okay.
populating, but it's not.
Okay, what we'll do is we're gonna move along the agenda item, and once our AA let us know she has a deck ready, then we can bring it back on to this in the interest of time.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. So in the next item on our agenda tonight, my dear friends, is to vote. So CEC28, we had a vacancy in one of the seats over here, and we are going to be vote. Last night, we had a special meeting where we interviewed the candidate, and the candidate also was Adriana Lissier. She applied for that vacant seat. And last night, the CEC team had a special meeting where we interviewed her, and we had deliberations and in an executive session. And today, this calendar meeting, we will be voting to go ahead and make a decision about admitting her or not to the CEC Council 28 for this cycle. So just so everyone understand, this is not for the new council starting in the fall. She's fulfilling the seat for the remaining of this cycle, which is 2 months. Right, and then she's also a candidate for the other seat, but that's a different process. But this is only for the current CEC cycle, which ends in 2 months. Okay, so just FYI, just everyone doesn't get confused. So Ted, we have to make a motion, right? Is that correct? Or we can just go ahead and start voting.
Yeah, I guess so. So I guess, you know, I make a motion to, how's the motion set up? I make a motion to seat the candidate Adriana Alicia in the vacant seat for CEC 28.
I second that. At this point in time, thank you, Ted. We're gonna be asking our secretary to do a roll call for the vote. So it's
Sure.
gonna work, council members, is just say, you know, in favor, or not, if, you know, if you vote, how you vote, just say yes or no. So we can just move it along. Thank you so much.
President Vijay Ramjatan,
Yes,
First Vice President Barbara Williams,
It's a yes for me.
Second Vice President Ted Cheng,
Yes.
Treasurer Lu Zhao,
Can I make a statement before I vote?
I think yesterday we had agreed in our meeting last night that we were just gonna vote doing that. So this is what we agreed upon yesterday's meeting. And in this, in terms of fairness, all the other council members did not have a chance to make a statement. So at this point in time, we'll just ask you to vote. Thank you.
Okay, so without a statement, I will be abstain.
You said, I'm
Abstain?
sorry.
Did you say abstain?
Yeah.
Member Natifa Lewis, Natifa,
Is she able to unmute?
yep. Okay, I'm gonna move on. Up for now, Member Simone Dornbach.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, now we can.
We can hear you now.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm in a little bit of noise. I'm trying to get out of it. That's what. I'm sorry, I missed, what was the question?
So you're voting to seat Adriana Alicia, yes or no? We're voting.
Should we come back to Natifa?
Yeah, can someone just text her in the group and just let her know what we're doing so that we can think she's having connection issues, but we will circle back with her.
I'm sorry.
It's yes, no, or abstaining. Natifa?
Yes.
Okay, it's a yes. Thank you. Member Simone Dornbach. Did we not hear you?
Didn't hear you.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Okay,
Yes. Member Cassandra Alexander, not here, right?
She's excused. Yeah, she's not here.
Okay. Member Shaliza Dean,
Yes.
member Rajwinder Kaur.
Rajwinda was just readmitted, so I'm not sure if she has rights on
Exactly.
Hold on, making that happen.
multitasking.
Yeah. And I'll be sharing Adriana's deck shortly. Rajwinder? Rajwinder.
Yes.
All right. And we get everyone. Myself, Elena.
Cassandra.
She called
You missed
Cassandra.
Cassandra.
No, she called Cassandra. Cassandra is excused.
Cassandra is out. Oh, I called her.
My apologies.
All right. I think we got it.
So Elena, we need to hear your vote.
I did. I said yes.
Okay, sorry, I didn't hear you. So that is what the result.
8 yeses, 1 abstaining.
Okay, thank you so much. Congratulations, Adriana. You have been seated. You have been allowed, voted into the CEC Council for this cycle. But in this capacity today, you are President's Council's president, right? And then hopefully all the paperwork will go through and finalize, et cetera, and the sign, they want all of our autographs. And then next month, hopefully you'll be a board member on this platform. But congratulations and welcome to CEC28. We are happy to have you on board. So at this point in time, I'll be able to share her deck.
Vijay, sorry. Oh, okay. Can you also invite her? Oh, yeah. Barbara, you go.
Vijay, you should ask her to make a statement. Her thank you statement.
Do you want to make a thank you statement, Adriana?
I just want to say thank you, and it's an honor.
Thank you. Okay, thanks, Barbara. Thank you, Simone. So this time we're going to be asking Adriana to present on behalf of President's Council. Adriana?
Give me a second. I am trying to get her deck as I was taking the roll call before. Give me a second. I'm trying to get to it. Did you send it to me? Don't see it.
So while we get the deck ready, after Adriana's presentation, then we'll be having council member reports. Then we'll have public comments, and then we're going to adjourn this part of the meeting. And if you want to speak, if you are a representative from an elected official office, please put the word speak. We would love to hear our reps from the elected offices speak. And we'll call your name in the order. Also, if you're representing any other districts, any other part of the district, you are more than welcome to put the word speak, so we can call you and you'll get 3 minutes to speak in the public comment section. Ready, Elena?
I got the deck. One second. Sorry.
Yeah.
I am trying to do it all. All right. I assume this is the correct one. So bear with me, everyone. Trying to do too many things at once, as well as managing the chat and the speakers. So let's do this. All right. Adriana, you're up.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I feel like I was introed already twice, so I'm just going to give a very quick intro for myself. I'm Adriana. I'm the president of President's Council in District 28. I also want to highlight and shout out our VP of President's Council is here this evening. Her name is Mona, and she is amazing. I would like to thank her publicly for her undying support to this district and to the people that are in it. And I would like to thank CEC28 for dedicating this time to President's Council. I am so in awe of this community, so buckle up, because we're gonna get a little braggadocio right now. Can we go to the next slide, please? Okay, as we all know, PAs and PTAs play a very important role in our city. We provide opportunities for parents and families to get involved in their child's education. We advocate for students and for their families, and we support school initiatives. In District 28, we are very fortunate to have upwards of 30 PA and PTAs. Each of these represents a group of dedicated volunteers, right, who work so hard to support their schools and to support the wider community. Over the past 3 years, these organizations have changed, and though it is heartbreaking, it is to be expected given what we have collectively survived. Despite the challenges that we've faced, the PAs and the PTAs in District 28 have accomplished some amazing things in this past year. But before we get into that, I want to tell you a little bit about what President's Council has been up to. Next one, please. So we may have had like a bit of a bumpy start to the school year, but I am very proud to say that President's Council finally hit the ground running in November. We completely rebranded ourselves. We streamlined our communication channels, we set expectations, and we continue to hold ourselves accountable. And we defined our core tenets. You can see them listed there on the slide. Accessibility, community, and equity are at the heart of every single thing that we've done this year. I'm going to share a couple of examples of how we're doing this, but please, if you have any suggestions that you would like to share with us or just would like to share in general, you can either put them in the chat and we'll capture them from there, or I will add our President's Council email to the chat, and please send us those by email. We live and breathe this community, so we very much would appreciate your help and your suggestions. So as an example for our approach and our actions, parent organizations must distribute formal meeting notices at least 10 days in advance of general membership meetings. And we do that. We share our meeting notices in accordance with the rules that are set forth by the Chancellor's regulations. And in addition to that, we share calendar invites. And attached to those invites is the meeting agenda, the Zoom link, along with the meeting ID and the password. And in addition to that, we do a lot of additions. We post a reminder a couple of days in advance of our meeting to our social media channels. Another practice that we've instituted is structuring our meetings to be highly informational and extremely casual. Dr. Pate, who is not here tonight, is a regular guest and beloved participant, and she can probably attest to how wackadoodle our meetings can be sometimes. We bring in speakers as often as possible, but it tends to be just a small-ish group of parent leaders from our district. One thing that we do in our meetings that throws people for a loop is I personally encourage interruption. I ask that any of our members jump in with questions as they have them. There's nothing more deflating to me than to have a question, have to wait to ask it, and then it just be gone for whatever reason. We're all thinking of 100 other things, and I'd rather people jump in, interrupt me, get their question asked and answered, because maybe somebody else has that question too. And it in my opinion, it truly just facilitates deeper conversation. It facilitates deeper connections, and it makes the space feel safer when everyone has the opportunity to be heard, and that their opinion is valid and that what they have to say matters, right? I am not the boss of this, right? I'm just leading the meeting. I'm not the leader. But that's how we approach it. Within a few days of our meetings, a full recap is sent to all of the members, not just the members who attended the meeting. And if you've ever gotten or seen one of those emails, you know that they are extremely long. They're very detailed. I provide links to pretty much everything that we discussed during our meetings, links to upcoming events, links to city council hearings, major items of discussion, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Can you hold for one moment? I'm just going to mute myself. Sorry, my husband's stuck at a client meeting, so it's me and the 4-year-old. Next slide, please. So our PAs and PTAs are making magic, and they are making do. I'd like to take a closer look at 4 of the PA and PTAs across our district. That is PS 121Q. The co-presidents are Anna Zapata and Jacqueline Rowe. PS 144Q. Co-presidents are Laura Weber and Kristen Prinzo. PS 303Q. The co-presidents are Onome Ati Ogoni, or Igoni, sorry, and Susanna Lee. And PS 349Q. President is the lovely Mona McMillian. So at PS 121, which is on the next, thank you. At PS 121, we've split this in efforts and then results, right? So at PS 121 this year, they hosted their first ever fall festival in October. They introduced class parents into classrooms for the first time. They introduced teacher wish lists and supported those, distributing them amongst parent members. A Paint With Me program was initiated for parents, families, and students. The students designed an infinity symbol that is now emblazoned on their school spirit gear, which I think is just the coolest thing. A Word of the Week initiative was introduced. There was a Zuzu Acrobat Assembly, Multicultural Week took place, and a series of Title I family workshops. The results of that, the results cumulatively of all of the work that the PTA does is that 97% of families feel that school staff works hard to build trusting relationships with them. There are high participation rates at SLT and PTA meetings, with SLT having roughly 20 participants and PTA meetings having roughly between 45 and 55 attendees. And there is great communication between the administration, the PTA, and parents and families. Our next school that we're going to highlight, or our next group that we're going to highlight, is PS 144. So their efforts, they have a culture and food festival, and in the most recent one, 20 cultures and countries were represented. They had a student talent show where approximately 80 kids performed. That's a lot of happy kids, and I love to see it. And their 5th graders are working with an enrichment provider on a graduation performance, right? Get the tissues, mom and dad are gonna cry. The results are that, or the results that they're seeing with their monthly restaurant night fundraiser is that it continues to be very successful. And they have a fundraising initiative that's launching soon to help pay for enrichment programs that they'll be instituting next year. Next up, we have PS303. Their efforts include a PTA-sponsored field trips that are both in school and off-site. Their fundraisers center around community building. They provide technology equipment for students. They fund classroom resources based on wish lists that are provided to them by teachers and the administration. This year, they organized a canned food drive, and all of the donations were given to a local food bank. And they directly supported the Racial Equity Committee by funding trips for all grades. The results of that are that supporting student learning is prioritized. For example, they provide funding for tech and for curriculum. Community is also prioritized. There was a December potluck that was very well attended, and the families took photos in a photo booth and participated in a raffle. And finally, we have PS349. Some of their efforts include consistent and varied fundraising events. For example, they host a winter craft night. They had a world's chocolate sale and bake sales. They have an upcoming online fundraiser with square art, which I'm looking forward to hearing more about from Mona. And their nominating committee for the upcoming election is already in place. The results that they have seen, and this is incredibly impressive, to date, they've raised $10,443. That's incredible. In this economy, I could go on and on about it, but I won't. The PTA celebrates parents by giving awards for donations, for parent leadership, and for volunteers. And the PTA celebrates their teachers and is hosting a teacher appreciation event in collaboration with Sunshine Corporations. That's pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool. Next, please. Our district, our problems, obstacles that we are facing across the district. The three that come up the most often are filing for and being granted tax exemption, low rates of parent engagement and parent participation across the board, as well as uncertainty and fluctuating morale. So I'm going to go piece by piece with this, with what President's Council is doing and has done.
Time check. Time check.
How long do I have?
2 minutes. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay. So with respect to filing for and being granted tax exemption, we are working on putting together a template for what is usually the harder parts of filing for tax exemption, which are writing out the purpose, making sure that it's detailed enough without pigeonholing yourselves. With respect to low rates of parent engagement, we have consistent conversations amongst ourselves about how we're doing things, what we're doing, what's working, what's not working, and discussing working together in order to increase engagement across the district. And with respect to uncertainty and fluctuating morale, we have tapped our amazing, everyone knows who she is because she's incredible, our amazing FLC, Miss Sonia Rueda, who we could not do any of this without her, thank you. But we tap her when we have big questions, when we have little questions, when we have things that, you know, someone has one answer and someone has another answer, and that ambiguity can create disinterest, and we don't want that, right? So we reach out when we can, when we need to the people that we know have the answers, and we'll continue to do that for the rest of this year and hopefully going forward. The last part of this is my bid and encouragement to every parent that is on this call tonight to please get involved in any way. Election season is here for PAs and PTAs. Following this, election season will be here for our SLTs. If it's not going to be you, who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? So it might as well be you. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to put our email in the chat, and please let me know if you have any questions.
How do I do on sharing?
There it is. Thank you so much, Adriana. Thank you so much for presenting and bringing us all the information about President's Council. And we thank you and your entire team and all the presidents for really doing the hard work that they're doing in the schools. And there's so many levels of participation across the board. And thank you for holding it down on that end of the district. So at this point in time, we're moving right along. We're going to be having our council members' reports. So I'll be calling the council members as we go along, and you have a report, please do so. We'll be asking first Vice President Barbara Williams.
Unfortunately, nothing at this time.
Thank you, Barbara. Next, we have Ted Chang, Second Vice President.
I guess I just want to comment just on behalf of the whole school system that, you know, the panel for educational policy has been going through discussions about the budgeting, and the city is going through those discussions right now. And it's a little bit mind-boggling that we're going through another, you know, it seems like we're going through more cuts to the school system at a time where I mean, we've already cut so many times, and there are so many programs that I know our district desperately needs to do more, not less. And I don't understand how we can possibly do what we need to do in our district without money, because we can't pay teachers, we can't pay every staff member in the building, and there's so many critical staff members all the way down the line. And how can we get them to come into the building, do the work that they need to do if we don't have funding for the schools? And ultimately, that's a city decision. The mayor sets the budget, and the city council really has very limited role to just sort of approve or not. But even if they don't approve, they really don't have a role to decide to propose a counter budget or anything like that. So it's really in the hands of the mayor. And I think we just need to really, you know, something needs to happen, because we can't improve academic achievement. We can't improve, you know, the social, emotional well-being of our students. We can't do any of that without funding. Thank you.
Thank you, Ted. Next, we have our recording secretary, Elena Manova, for any reports.
And so this past month, I had the privilege of attending Principal Tushman's coffee with the principal. Shout out there. That was a fun interaction. That's where I actually got a chance to get a glimpse of Adriana in action, as well as the PA co-president of the school. Definitely love the community that Ms. Tushman is building at that school, and a great collaborative environment, and all the great things that are happening at 175. I did hear a lot of concerns this particular month from parent members within our district with regards to a lot of buildings that are coming up in the neighborhood. We have buildings coming up at a rocking speed all throughout the Rego Park, Forest Hills area. With on Queens Boulevard, there's a few buildings on 108th Street, and we are not increasing schools, right? So we are not, our schools are not stretchable. And where are we getting more seats for our students? And it's not just about getting seats in the building of existing schools. It's actually a problem of adding additional schools to our district to fill all of the seats that will be coming into the district based on all of the apartments that will be filled rather quickly. It is scary, because class size does matter, and we know the impact that the larger class sizes will have on the quality of education. So I actually did apply to be on that committee to about the class size. Unfortunately, I was not selected. Vijay, I'm glad that you're there representing us all, and hopefully that will be an impactful community that will help move things in the right direction. Thank you. Oh, and inviting everyone to that Vijay said, we look forward to inviting all the principals and celebrating all of you at our breakfast on May 5th.
Yes, please register, please, if you haven't done so as yet. We'll be emailing and start calling too. Okay, telemarketers, make sure you sign up. Next, we're going to have our treasurer, Luza. I want to say how Elena says it.
Hi. two things. One is the congratulations to PS303. Their parents and their administration, they finally reach a conclusion. They will have a after school program in school next year. It's great work, and I was bystander looking at what they're doing. I was, like, really great, and I hope other school follow suit. And PS 144, PS 174 all has a similar problem. There are no valid other school program for those. I think this is very important. And the second thing I want to talk about a little bit is this is part of this statement I wanted to make when I in the vote. And yesterday something really touched my nerve, heart. The school safety issues. Just a few weeks ago, my son's high school, it's not his school, but a school cross street from, there's two high school cross street from each other, and they had a shooting instance, and a student in that school got shot outside the school. And it happened outside school probably because of the security personnel inside the school make it hard for the penetrator get into the school. So they choose to do that outside the school. So thank God for that. But it's really it scares me to death, because if it happened a little bit later, my son would be released for lunch, and this is on his route. And indeed, the same day, another high school have another shooting, and it's related. It was considered as a retaliation for the first shooting, and a student got shot there, and a bystander got shot. Right, so that could be my son. If it happened a little bit later, in the other school. So this really come, close to home, and I think in different situations, right? So do we need police in school? I mean, I grew up in a very different environment. We never had police in high school or stuff, but never even thought that would be a thing. However, this is now, and this is here, and we see those kind of things happen on a regular basis. So this is not some ideological fantasy you can have. This is real, and this is serious. And this, the idea that we don't need police in school, it's a very dangerous idea. So that's what I'm saying. So this is really concerned me yesterday. Now, if I can make this statement, I would still vote yes for Adriana's, filling the vacancy seat. The reason is very simple. You got to come out to speak as a parent, if you can, run for, a parent representative.
Lou,
you have to be.
Hey, Lou. Hi. We voted on this already, and this is about a report. And we had a deliberation yesterday, and you had a chance to speak about how you feel about the interview we had yesterday. So respectfully, I will ask you.
But
I will ask you to keep your report to a report, and not to discuss the vote what we had already. You're more than welcome to do so after, but at this portion,
okay, that's fine. I can finish.
And you're more welcome to say as a parent. If you want to speak as a parent and as a CC member of the report, you can put your name on the list to speak as a parent, not as a CC member, and you could share your views. Fair enough?
Sure. Yeah.
Thank you, Lou. Are you finished with your report, though?
Yeah, I've finished.
Thank you so much. So we will move along to Rajwinder Kaur. Remember Rajwinder Kaur?
Good evening, everyone. Congratulations of a new CEC member. Welcome to the board, even though it's for the next 2 months as of now. So let's see. Another, not much, but very important, the school safety, again, as to, connection with the lose-out. So still so many schools are struggling with the school safety guards. That should be taken care of. That's the main concern of the parents. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Rajwinder Kaur. Next, we're going to be having, Cassandra is absent, but she's excused. Member Shaliza Dean, I'm not sure if she's still on. I know she's probably breaking fast. Miss Dean, are you on? Okay, let's call on. She'll answer back to us. A member Natifa Lewis, are you wearing a red jacket?
Not today. Hi, good evening, everyone. In terms of my member report, so a couple concerns that were happening with parents, especially the middle school parents who were applying for high schools. There were quite a number of middle school students, and I believe the numbers within our district compared to the rest of the city were a little bit high in terms of the students who did not receive any of their choices for a high school. And this is something that, some parents do want people to look into. And, in some cases, it was partially the parents' fault. They put the same school for 12 spaces, or they put just 1 or 2 schools. But there were also parents who did put 12 options, and they were told, and they still were on a waiting list. So this is a concern that many parents want the district to kind of look into. The one good thing has been that many of the families who reached out to specific schools to be added to the waiting list or so forth, they have been put on there. Whether there'll be movement, that's not clear, but that is a concern that a lot of the 8th grade parents have been having within our district. I haven't seen much of the numbers myself, but there's also been concerns from people who were looking at the numbers that it seemed a little bit higher in our district than usual. I have a recurring concern that other parents have also expressed with some of the construction that is going on in our district. So it ties in a little bit with the number of new buildings that are going on in the northern part of the district, but in the southern, there's a lot of road work and so forth that is affecting attendance, which is a big issue for the district. And students, whether they're taking the bus, whether they're being dropped by parents or so forth, they're unable to get to school on time because it's taking 15 minutes to cross a major thoroughway if you have to. I think Lou alluded to a different shooting incident, but there was an incident on Jamaica, I believe it was last week, where quite a number of schools were a little bit in chaos in terms of the pickup period. It had nothing to do with the schools, the shooting, etc. But my bigger concern is in the morning drop off, that, and I believe it has to come from DOE Central or the districts or whatever it is, to really have a conversation, some kind of a sit down with the Department of Transportation in terms of the permits and whatnot that are being granted to these people who are doing some of the road work. Just as most of the major road work happens, like 10 to whatever it is, there should be some kind of embargo on them being able to do block the roads between like 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. in the morning when people are trying to commute to work and to school. It is a safety condition as well as something that goes very converse to our main district goal, which is to have the right kind of attendance. In terms of I know, well, state test for ELA just finished today. So, hopefully we'll have better numbers this year than were happening the last couple of years. Incidentally, related to both the sign up and some of the concerns, I ran into Deputy Chancellor Weisberg on the train yesterday, and his secretary actually reached out today. So we have a follow-up conversation that I'm going to raise some of these issues with in the next week or two. But yeah, so those were the main things from my side of the report. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I'm like triple tasking tonight. So.
No, we're all triple tasking our meetings that I held this time. And also I'm happy you're safe and your friends and family with the building collapse in Manhattan, the garage collapse. And I'm happy
Thank you. It was
and everyone else is safe.
because I was supposed to teach, and I'm actually at Pace right now, but at a different location.
We're glad that you're okay and your friends and no one else is more that's hurt. Thank you so much. Next we have is Ms. Simone Dornbach.
Thank you, Vijay. Good evening. So I was sick, so I wasn't able to attend the SLT meetings of my partner schools. But I was in contact with parents, and I would like to thank again Joanne Cummings, the IEP representative of District 29. She has been continuing to do the IEP series. I have not been able to attend each and every session, but I do know that it's a small group of parents who keeps attending, and it's very, very impactful. I would also like to say that concerns about the reading teaching curriculum came up from several parents. I was first notified by Venus. She sent me a text message a couple of months ago where she mentioned a podcast that I should listen to. And then sure enough, there were several parents who contacted me, and they are concerned to know what is being taught in our district, which curriculum is being taught in the schools. The DOE is changing their approach to teaching literacy. And so I would love to ask Dr. Hall if she could let us know what our district is gonna follow, if they are already in the process of changing the curriculum for literacy, or like what the process is, where they are right now. I also would like to second what Ted said in his concerns about the budget cuts. Right now there are negotiations. Parents, you have seen that we have a lot of power as a community. Please do call your representatives and share your concerns. To have another budget cut in our school system would be devastating. They are also talking about cuts for CUNY and cuts for the libraries. Please reach out to your representatives and let them know that you're not okay with it. And I also want to make sure you're aware of the negotiations going on in Albany, and they're lifting the cap of can someone help me? It's just like lifting the charter schools is on the table again. As you all know, that has been an issue for New York City, as the overall enrollment for charter schools is very low at the moment. And if we lift the cap, that will mean that our public schools will get less funding. So while we're not against charter schools, it's a wonderful option for parents. Lifting the cap would not be a good idea for New York City. And that's from my side. Thank you, Vijay.
Thank you so much. And did you have a response, Dr. Hall?
Yes. So just, Simone, I just want to share just really briefly what I shared at the beginning of the presentation, that at this point in the school year, the Department of Education is asking for all schools in the city to shift towards a common curriculum per district. So for example, District 28 will have one ELA curriculum and one math curriculum. They are rolling that out in phases. So certain districts, that must begin by the 23-24 school year. Other districts may have a year or two before they must switch to one common curriculum. The options that are on the table at this time for ELA are expeditionary learning and HMH, interreading. For math, they're Eureka Math, Illustrative Math, Agile Minds, and Envision Math. So those are the 4 options for math. And the 2 for ELA are HMH and expeditionary learning. There are some schools that are, as I said in the beginning, that are using Teachers College Reading and Writing Project. At this time, the Department of Education does not include that program in the core curriculum. So it's not an option at this time.
Okay, thank you so much. And that brings the end to our council member reports. And before we move to public comments, we have our amazing, and we always want to seize the moment when we have her to speak and share anything that she has to share, because we want to hear. I'm speaking of no other than our district family leadership coordinator, and that is Sonia Rueda.
Good evening. Good evening. It's always inspiring to sit in these meetings to hear all the work that we're doing, from our new deputy superintendent, to our principals, highlighting all the work. And so I'm going to continue sharing some of the highlights. We have a lot of good things happening for families in May. I know Bruce is here, but I'm just going to say we have 3 workshops for dial-a teacher that are happening. The first round happened last month. We're going to have 3 more, and you'll probably hear more from Bruce, and we'll be sharing that information with our schools, but they'll be happening May 9th, 10th, and 11th at our 3 of our district schools. But we also have District 28 will be offering also 3 workshops, and that'll be May 17th, May 24th, May 31st. It's in the link already in the chat. That'll be from 6:30 to 7:15. And again, this is just a wealth of information for parents. How do you support your children and with curriculum? Because that's a challenge, right? Some of us may know the language, but other parents don't. How are we going to support the curriculum and their learning in the summer? How are we supporting the reading, right? Literacy, math. So we are excited about all these opportunities, and you'll see more information in the chat, and just be on the lookout at the schools. We'll be sharing that information as well. The other piece that I want to talk about is, we have so many things that are happening in our district that are great and amazing. That's what we say. We call ourselves proudly the Great 28. But we have to remember, we have to go back to supporting our schools. And I'm just going to make the pitch because we hear amazing stakeholders being vocal at the district, but we need parents, we need your voice at the school level, right? Because this is where we get the core, right, of your culture, of your community. Elections are happening, and I'm going to echo what Adriana said before. Please, we're having nominating committees. We need people to help run the elections, but I'm going to say, go that step further and run for these positions. We need your voice. Oftentimes we say there's no engagement, there's no morale. It's there. Parents call me all the time. They have a lot to say, but we need you at the school level. We need you to support your school leadership team. We need you to support your principals when they need to have these conversations. So please, you can reach out to me. You can reach out to President's Council. We're going to be having another training in May, but we need your voice to continue these great and rich discussions at the Great 28. And that's it for me. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sonia, for always bringing us whatever we forgot. You tied in very nicely. Thank you so much. So at this point in time, we'll be having our public comment section. I'm going to be asking Lou, can you do the timing for us today? Lou, can you do that for us?
Sure, yes.
So each person will have 3 minutes. So we first start, Alina, you'll do the unmuting stuff, right, on your end. Vanessa Sparks.
Good evening. This is Vanessa Sparks, and on behalf of the Reverend Carlene Thorbs and Community Board Chair for Community Board 12 Chair, and Latoya LeGrand, Education Committee Chair for Community Board 12, I bring greetings. I would like to welcome Dr. Hall to District 28. I am going to take this information back to our Education Committee, as we would like to invite both you and Dr. Pate to speak with our community board. Community Board 12 represents the communities of Jamaica, South Jamaica, Adelaide Park, St. Albans, and Hollis, Queens. About a little more than almost half of the schools that are in Community Board 12 are in District 28. So we are very, very, very much involved and interested in what goes on at the schools that fall within our encatchment area. President VJ, I would like to please remind you to please forward an invitation to that legislative breakfast to our community board chair, the Reverend Carlene Thorbs, community, as well as the other community boards that fall within the encatchment area of District 28. Community boards are an essential part of the community, as we are the bodies that approve of what schools, vote on what school buildings are being built, and if you are looking to get speed bumps in schools and things like in front of schools. And I would like to just say, I would like Natifa to reach out to the community board regarding a conversation with DOT. You so well put it. There is a lot of construction going on in Southeast Queens, a lot more anticipated within the next year. So the folks at the Department of Transportation really need to hear from you and other folks regarding the inconvenience that some of this causes when people are trying to get their children to and from school. And I really would like for you to be at the table for those conversations. So again, on behalf of Community Board 12, I say good evening. And just a reminder, and VJ is always a welcome invitation. Community Board 12 meets the third Wednesday of every month. Our next meeting, our next general membership meeting will be May 17th. Thank you.
Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you for always being present and bringing greetings and also strengthening our collaboration. Just so you're aware, we did send out the emails to all of our community boards. That was very directed and intentional. And we did receive also our RSVPs from the president already that they're attending. So that's in place. We're on it. Thank you so much. Next, we're going to have, and I want to say your name. Please let me say it. Yana Semiglazova. And correct me if I'm wrong.
It's Yana Semiglasova, but I'll help you out there, BJ.
Thank you. I got a thumbs up from her.
Yes, you're very good. Someone always says semi-glazed donut. Like, think of that. So I have questions. I have more questions for Dr. Hall about that new curriculum. As you've seen the Chalkbeat article about the reading curriculum, what is there a pushback from principals? Because I know the principal of my school ardently protects and supports her teachers college modified curriculum that they've stripped down and sort of made a hodgepodge of their own. If the school doesn't pay for this reading curriculum, will the DOE support it? Also, why is Fountas and Pinnell still in place? That's also been disproven. That does not provide the correct reading level. I know there are alternative reading systems within schools, and those are not communicated to parents. What is done about that? Can you provide those answers, please? Thank you. And also, what schools, oh, sorry, one more question. What if schools require support and training? What's the timeline?
So the first thing I'll share is that we do not yet know what phase of the rollout we're in. So that will let us know how soon we have to transition, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing is that we've been in communication with principals around what which programs they would prefer for their schools. So, and then we're using that information to discuss as a district team what resources and supports we can make available to schools so that the best selection is made from the options available. You mentioned Fountas and Pinnell. Was the question which of our schools are using it, or why is it being used?
Why is it being used? Most of the schools are still communicating Fountas and Pinnell reading levels to parents when they're inaccurate, as proven by that podcast. And there's a study cited in that podcast. I'm sure you know of it. So why is it still communicated to parents when it's inaccurate? Only when I prodded to ask for the alternative method was I given a response, and it did not correlate to Fountas Pinnell. So that's just in my case, and I'm a parent in Queens Special Kids. Also, a lot of parents communicate the same issue, and they always have to figure out how to get the right reading level from the principals.
Can we allow her to answer just to keep your time limit, please? Thanks.
Yep, go ahead.
So I thank you for your question, and I pride myself on responding with a data-informed response. So allow me a chance to just go back to the team and kind of figure out which schools are using Fountas and Pinnell as a reading level source, and be able to provide an informed response around why Fountas and Pinnell is being used. Why and how. Does that work, Yana?
I can answer right now. I looked up 175, right? The principal's right here.
Sorry, Yana, you asked the question, and of course.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry. I was unmuted.
So let's really follow. I appreciate it. We'll gladly appreciate our email. It's on the chat here. you can definitely forward that last question to us, and we'll make sure it's sent to Dr. Hall and team, and then they can provide a response. Fair enough?
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And I appreciate your questions. Thank you so much. Moving along, we're going to have Adriana Alicia.
Hi, VJ. So I'm so happy that you are on the working group. I brought this up with Deputy Chancellor Kenita Lloyd. She joined us at CPAC this morning, but I want to bring it up here again because Jessica mentioned that there are so many apartment buildings, and it's been brought up since then, so many apartment buildings that are going up and being built across the district. And we know that it takes roughly 5 years to site and build a school, right? Further to that, in order to comply with S9-460, which is the class size matter bill, we know that the DOE must reduce class sizes in roughly 20% of schools every year from 2023 to 2028. That is that 5-year period. The bill provides that classes must be capped at between 20 to 25 students, with the differential being dependent upon respective grade levels. Given that the DOE plans to cut roughly 38% of seats from the capital plan, I think it's extremely important for there to be transparency and an explanation of how the DOE plans to implement the class size matter bill, right? If the DOE does cut the 38% of the seats in the capital plan, how exactly are they going to ensure that our students have access to classrooms with the appropriate class sizes that they're entitled to? In addition to that, I think that parents need to understand why the DOE is cutting over $2 billion from the capital plan and eliminating roughly 22,000 seats when Deputy Chancellor Dan Weisberg himself testified at City Council that it would cost roughly $30 billion more in order to provide adequate space to lower the class sizes. I mean, this is an obvious and frankly offensive contradiction. The math is not mathing. And it's not really a question. I just hope that like that info makes its way to the working group, because we deserve honesty and answers. And it's frustrating that we get obfuscation, and we'll get back to you. So thank you. And thank you, VJ. I look forward to hearing from you.
Most definitely. And also they promised transparency. We had our first meeting yesterday. It was and it's going to be bi-monthly meetings, and there's a website, and I'll find the website and I'll share it to our AA, and she posted out there to share all the slides that they shared so far and the plan and all the data that they have that's backing up how it's going to be done and when and where and the phases, because not all schools are expected to do it at once. There are different districts and different schools that's going to be happening. We should know that District 75 is not part of this plan. It's only the 32 districts, but not 75. So again, all information is there, and I'm loving the feedback. Please email it to me, Adriana. I'll take it back there. And one of the things I said, well, for my part yesterday, is like, how can we make sure, especially for D28 that's already overcrowded and more buildings being built, that we can maintain this law and follow this law that's implemented while also adhering to, making sure our kids have the standard of education that we have grown to and come to expect and need. So we'll definitely take the feedback. Next, we have Ron Britt. You should be able to unmute. There you go, Ron. Ron Britt.
Ron, you should be able to unmute.
There we go. All right. Good evening, everybody. So real quick, I don't want to take up too much time in this space and allow others to share out. Just wanted to bring greetings and say welcome to Dr. Hall from the Jamaica NAACP Education Committee. Congrats, Adriana, or President Alicia, shall I say. And the only other thing I'll say is, yeah, we did have our first meeting yesterday. I'm on the working group as well, and it's quite interesting. We'll have to see how it goes. There's a great deal of speculation and some trepidation there and so forth and so on about interpretation of the law. And there's a lot of exemptions that could be and probably will try to be allowed. We know that particularly in Queens and really throughout the city, there are pockets of parts of our borough and city here where overcrowding is ongoing, and there are pockets where we have to address the issue of underutilization, right? So there's also, the Office of District Planning and school enrollment, a lot of policies and questions, even down to funding, and all these other things have to be thought out and answered. So there's a lot of work to be done. I know my fellow Queens member, we will actively work together on behalf of the district and behalf of Queens and our students to make sure we do the right thing for everyone. And I appreciate you, VJ, for actively soliciting from the community, from members here. So thank you for that. And with that, I'll leave it and leave space for others to share out. But just wanted to say welcome and bring some greetings. Thank you all.
Thank you, Ron. And Ron is the chair of the NAACP Jamaica Branch Education, department there, and he's doing a fabulous job. Thank you, Ron. Next, we have all great people, all leaders, as Dr. Hall said, right? Amazing leaders. Bruce Zaihao, you're up next, sir. Go ahead, Bruce.
There we go. I got it. Good evening, everyone. So I want to welcome Dr. Hall to District 28 on behalf of the United Federation of Teachers. I want to congratulate Adriana for becoming a member of the CEC. That was a great surprise tonight. So that's exciting. And I think it's great that VJ is on that class size matters committee. That's so important to us. Also, the points that Simone and Ted and Adriana brought up about the budget cuts that are being proposed to our school system once again. Yes, I also encourage everyone who's on this meeting tonight to reach out to our legislators and tell them that that simply cannot happen. Can't happen. There's a state budget that still hasn't been passed yet, but if it does get passed, there's records amount of money in it for education in the city. There's just no reason for budget cuts to be taking place in New York City if that state budget goes through. On another note, something that Sonia Rueda mentioned was we're very excited that we're going to have a second Dial a Teacher parent workshop in our district coming up on May 9th, 10th, and 11th. This is a collaborative effort between the District 28 Superintendent's Office and the United Federation of Teachers in District 28. And this will be a parent workshop offered at 3 different schools in our district. PS 354 on May 9th, Junior High School 190 on May 10th, and PS 117 on May 11th. It's the same workshop at all 3 schools. It's called Reducing Summer Learning Loss, because our children over the summer, sometimes do experience some learning loss. And while we want them, to have a break during the summer, we also want them to keep up academically. So this workshop is going to offer parents some activities that could help their children continue to be academically engaged during the summer, while also allowing them to have vacation time. So the flyers for that particular workshop will be distributed to all parents throughout District 28. All parents throughout District 28, elementary and middle school, will be afforded the opportunity to attend the workshop at any one of those schools on any one of those nights at 6 p.m. And that's my report.
Thank you, Bruce. Thank you so much. And just so everyone is aware, I just posted a link on the chat for the class size information. And it has the dates of the meetings, it has who's on the working group, it has all that information there. And they promised to post the slides that were presented yesterday. And if they don't run, we're gonna keep them accountable, all right, and make sure our community knows what's happening too. All right, so we're gonna move along to the next person on the list. Let me just get my chat up here again, sorry. Next person we have is, sorry, there it is. Or did I pass it? Sorry, the chat went crazy. Did someone see the list?
I just put it on the bottom again.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Jessica Zillo, how can I forget, right? How can I forget, Jessica? Like, seriously. There you are.
It's a hard act that was, I can unmute, so thank you. That was a hard act to follow, but I just want to express once more my displeasure with summarizing. It is great that we're not all sitting at our computers at 9 a.m. all fighting for 10 schools for a very lack of seats. I can tell you what PS220 looked like 2 years ago, because I went the first day and it was mass cast, and remember, it was still COVID. I would love to see that more schools would be open to having more students at their schools. Also, like Mel's is scheduled for Russell's for Halsey. That is a far commute from one side of the district to the other. So again, the middle school offerings are little or none. And so I am worried. Also, not all schools have CBO. So that should not be a screen, because it is a screen, to be part of the program. So I'm waiting with bated breath again to see if I can get a seat, right? But I don't necessarily qualify for some of the other things, especially because our school, as far as I know, does not have a CBO, right? And so again, the lack of seats, and you can take this back because I think that there's a meeting about this, and I was on some calls previously in regards to summarizing in my former role. But me as a parent, I'm very upset that yet again, our district, which is one of the largest in the city, has such a lack of programs for students, right? We are still sort of thinking about health and safety, and there's no act like for CBOs. I don't know what Queens Community House does. I don't know what their record is, and I'm interested in my babies to go to that program. So it's great that we have it and we're going to be offered a seat, but you should have some other information in regards to the CBO that is offering that program. But overall, it was great that it's not an automatic seat placement, but overall we have a lack of programs yet again for this district. So I think that one of the superintendents or something like that was going to take information back to the working group. So that is my parents' view of summarizing. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Jessica. Next, we're going to be having Lynette S. Barfield from the Speaker's Office.
Good evening to each and every one of you. Greetings to you, President VJ. Of course, welcoming our new Deputy Superintendent, Dr. Hall, and recognizing the new appointment of Adriana to your council. Good evening. I'm sorry it's been a while since feels like it's been a while since I've seen you. Yes, right? It just seems like
it does feel that way.
Yes. So I, of course, took in all of the concerns from one end to the other and everything in between. I have noted your concerns, and I look forward to bringing back some answers to some of your questions. And of course, it's very important to hear about the concerns with summarizing, which is our, most immediate activity and concerns. And then also the construction issues are something I can bring back, and perhaps we can speak with, have some kind of presence with DOT to address that. And it was a couple of other things. I don't want to lose all of my time reiterating what you all have already said, but I have taken it all, and I will certainly share with the speaker and the district team. So if you would give me permission to just continue with my announcements, but knowing that I have all of your concerns before me. Thank you so much. So just for the families that are on, and even the educators in schools, in the area. On Saturday, April 29th, Speaker Adams is hosting with Eastside Ecology Group, the e-waste and paper shredding event. And for educators, I'm sure, I'm a former educator, DOE employee, you may have a lot of papers you want to shred. Please come on and bring your papers, also your e-waste. If there's some old TVs and electronic items at home or in the schools, or well, I know you can't throw away the school equipment, but just know that we're having an e-waste event on Saturday, April 29th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Baisley Pond Park between 155th and 157th Street. And I did send these documents to your administrator. Also on that same day, if you stop by for shredding, please be sure to come over to Rochdale Village Shopping Center. Speaker Adams is hosting a community resource expo. I believe as of today, there's over 20 city, state, well, I'm not sure all of, if the agency represented is across the state and the federal, but we have 20 agencies and CBOs that will provide resources for the community. And it will be just a layout where you just come and check into the tables and booths that you are interested in. So please come out to the Community Resource Expo, same day, Saturday, April 29th.
I'm sorry, it's 10.
I'm sorry?
It's 10. Time's up.
You can just continue to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Continue to wrap it up.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so, and I did have some legislation to share. It seems like, I'm not sure if I have enough time, but yesterday's health, aging, education, I'm sorry. Yesterday, 2 days ago, the state senate approved the new chief judge. Speaker has remarks. I'll put that in the chat. There's several pieces of legislation that really are important to this body. If you give me a moment to share, if not, I'll have to send it by email. What would you prefer?
We give you 1 more minute. Is that fair?
Okay, yes, let me get through it. I should be able to get through it. So Intro 606 was passed, which restricts car idling to 1 minute in spaces near or within city parks. Intro 8A requires full disclosure of full ticket prices whenever tickets are displayed in ads for ticketed events. You all know we see the ticket price for a concert or an event. By the time you check out, you're paying double the amount. That's exaggerated, but you know what I mean there. Intro 128A requires every city park bathroom to have a diaper changing table by December 2027. Intro 675A requires the creation of a citywide telemedicine accessibility plan. And Intro 4 prohibits the sale of guinea pigs in pet shops. I will stop there. You do know we're in budget season. There's more to say about that, but please feel free to reach out to the Office of Speaker Adrienne E. Adams. We are privileged that she's not only your council member, but she is your citywide representative. So please reach out to us, talk to me, whatever way I can help and coordinate efforts with you, I will do so. Thank you so much. I'll put all the information in the chat.
Thank you so much, Lynette. And we're looking forward to her presence at the breakfast.
Yes, I submitted
I'll
that
be emailing you.
request.
Pardon me? I'll be emailing you. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you
Very
for your
well.
time. Thank you.
Next we have is Joanne Benoit.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm not going to take much time because Ms. Rueda shared the professional learning opportunities that the district team will be offering. For those of you who don't know me, I am Dr. Joanne Benoit, the Executive Director for School Support in District 28. So the team is offering 3 sessions starting May 17, May 24th, and May 31st. The information has been shared in the chat. Dr. Hall is sharing a file again. Thank you again, Dr. Hall. Please do share with your friends and fellow family and parents. The team has worked on 3 wonderful sessions to engage parents and their children around literacy in the 21st century, making decodable books, and learning about, how to support mathematics learning at home. So thank you again, and Eid Mubarak to everyone who's celebrating.
Eid Mubarak to you and to everyone else too. And do definitely come to our meetings and always listen when you're here. We love to hear from you always. Thank you so much. And last but not least, we have Ari Feldman. Ari. I don't see him on.
I don't see him either to unmute him, so
Yeah.
he might have dropped off.
Okay, just want to make sure we didn't skip anybody. So I don't see Ari. Ari going once, going twice. Ari going once, going twice. Okay, so I don't see Ari. That's okay. So
I
my
think he
dear friend,
is also multitasking. I think he's coming back.
yeah, but we have a time thing, right? So
Okay.
if he's, I called twice. I called 3 times. Ari. Ari. Okay. I know he did post something on the chat, and let's say it out loud. Well, and I can't. Sorry. That's okay. It's on the chat. Can be favoritism here. So now, my dear friends, it's now 8:40. This time we're going to be adjourning our meeting. We thank you all for being here. Dr. Hall, welcome again. Welcome to the rodeo, but we are friendly. We are one team. We support each other. We don't only point out what's not working, but we also point out what's working, and we support each other in this district. And you're in for a great ride with this team, and we are your partners. And all the principals who are here, we adore you. All the parent coordinators, all the SLT members, all of you, all the administrators, we appreciate you and we thank you for your time. Council members, you're amazing. All the council members of T28, we're doing this. Some of you have been here with me since the beginning, 5 years running, serving on this council. And Barbara, Ted, Elena, you all been here forever. Like, seriously, but we are doing this, and we are so happy to welcome our new member, Adriana. So you're in good hands. And we are here to help you succeed and do your role as a next parent leader in this district. Good night. The time now is 8:41, and this meeting will be adjourned. We will be having our business meeting directly after. So Elena, if you could allow everyone the chance to unmute, we'd love to hear your voice recording on. Excellent. The time now is 8:51 p.m. and this is CEC28's April 2023 business meeting. At this point in time, we're going to be asking our recording secretary to do a roll call, please. Elena Aminova. Okay, she might be also having her mouth issues will be eating. So I'll just do the roll call really quickly. So President Ramjatan, I'm here. First Vice President Barbara Williams.
I'm here.
Thank you. Second Vice President Ted Chang.
I'm here.
Recording Secretary Elena Aminova.
I'm here.
You want to continue or should I?
No, you can. You're doing great.
Treasurer Lou Zhao.
Here.
Okay, and then Rajendra Kaur. Remember Rajendra Kaur?
Here.
Do I say your name correctly, Rajendra? Is it Kaur?
Yes.
Beautiful.
It's Kaur.
Thank you. Member Cassandra Alexander, she's
After
excused.
2 years, you ask now. Sorry.
I know.
Yeah, that's
I was about to say.
He's obsessed on pronouncing people's name today.
Isn't it too early?
That's my thing today for 2023.
VJ recording secretary.
People only say my first name, not my last name, because they don't mess it up. They say VJ, not Ramjatin. I'm okay, that's okay. Member Shaliza Dean. I know she was here, but she's not here for this part of the meeting, and we know why she's not here. So I think we can mark that as well. She's here, she's not here. She's not here for this part, so let's just like we can. She's not here for this part, okay? But great job.
I think since both meetings are together, isn't it just one attendance? I mean, you mark it on there that she's absent, but it doesn't count as like a missed meeting.
It's a different meeting.
Okay,
I know, but I'm saying like in terms of like that adds up to a count. The business meeting part on the same day doesn't count as missing 3 meetings.
No, but we have to be. It's a roll call, right? So that's what it is, So we let's say she's not at this part of the meeting.
What happened to Cassandra? Did she message you or something?
She emailed.
Oh,
she emailed.
Is she at work or something? Or?
Yeah, let's see here.
Vijay, yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
She sent you the form stating she's at work. I was copied.
Great. No, please speak. Go ahead. She's at work. Yeah. But I mean, she sent a form in. We have to determine, you know, of course, Ted and that team determine the persons.
We can vote on it next time.
Yeah. And then we have, remember, Latifa Lewis. I know I just heard you. Latifa, you here? I know I heard you.
I'm here. Yes, I am.
Thank you. I remember Simone Dornbach.
Here.
Perfect, thank you. And it's Dornbach or Dornbach?
That one, Dornbach.
Beautiful. See, another name. There you go. I'm getting there, guys. Okay, so we're gonna move through our agenda tonight to do this follow through. End of year celebration discussion. So anyone have any updates on that? So the last thing we were trying to figure out is which school we're going to use for our end of year celebration. And we were looking for ideas, and we were focusing on this, getting through the breakfast, and then just get through that. Then we'll start planning actively the end of year celebration. But we did put money in our budget last time, right, Lou? We did leave money in the budget for food for that event also, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so what I will say on this topic for the end of year celebration, we are looking at on all of you. Just don't commit, no one, please. Don't tell anyone that they will perform, but just scout your schools that you're liaisons with. If they have a dance program, they have a talent program, they have kids who draw, whatever it is. And we try to get a variety of schools across the district. What we can do, did we select a committee for that already? We did, right? End of year celebrations committee. Did we select one of that? No. So let's accomplish that this meeting. How about we do that for this meeting? Is that okay?
Barbara, I don't want to be on the other side of that finger.
So we can we go ahead and create a committee for the end of year celebration? I'm part of all the subcommittees, right? So
I'm happy to.
yeah, Simone. Anyone else wants to be part of that end of year celebration committee? Elena, yes. So far myself, Simone, Elena, going once. Anyone else? Going twice. Going twice. Okay, for now, let's have that committee. So Elena or Simone, can you please start a group chat on that for specific topics so we can do that? Of course, not being on a committee doesn't mean you can't give us ideas. We will definitely want your ideas and suggestions, but we'll just start a committee. We start planning ideas what we're looking for and location, etc., and how we can start doing that. We haven't had one of this since way back then. So this is important, okay? Bravo, Lewis Williams.
I am so sorry, VJ. It's the first time I've ever done this. Could you repeat what you was asking everybody for? My daughter just came home, was telling me about her day, and I got caught up. So I apologize. I wasn't completely here. I'm here now.
She's
if
more
you could
important.
repeat it
Trust
for
me.
me.
She's most and more important. You did the right thing. I can repeat. It's not a big deal. We're asking. This is the end. Of course, Barbara. This is the end of year celebration for the district. And I'm asking if anyone who wants to be part of the committee to plan that event. We have a committee already for the breakfast. That's actively, we have that. And then we'll have another committee to start the celebrations planning right after the breakfast. Then we go full on to plan that. So who wants to be a part of that committee? So far we have Simone, we have Elena, we have myself, and that was the question. Okay, Lu Zhao.
Just
Thank you,
quick,
BJ.
It's probably already in your agenda, like when you update the breakfast. So do you have a estimate how much money we spend on the food and refreshment on the breakfast?
So tomorrow we're meeting with we do have an estimate. Dorinda, do you have that estimate that you could give us? But tomorrow, myself and Dorinda.
Yeah, I can, Vijay. Because of the deadline, we put the PO for the entire amount, and tomorrow I'm meeting with the manager to pick the food items and get all of that squared away. So approximately, it'll most likely be around 4,000-ish.
Okay, so that's the reason I ask you, if that's about 4,000, then they leave about another 4,000 for the end of the year. Yeah.
Yes. and we need a lot more food. And I definitely want to make sure how we can make the breakfast a little more lesser in terms of amount, because I feel like we have to cater for the whole district for the breakfast for the end of year celebration, as opposed to 150 people for the breakfast. So we'll definitely tomorrow during an meeting with Panera to discuss like what that will look like. So any feedback, any inputs, we could definitely take it there last year. So let's just do that. So first, any other thing about the end of year celebration, so we can move on to the next topic, because then we'll talk about the breakfast after. We want to just talk about two things together, you know? Okay, so we're moving on to the next item, discussing. Can we just do the breakfast right away since it's on topic, and then we'll just come back to the pending absentees forms? Okay, everyone, we cool? Going once, going twice? Yeah, great. Breakfast. So far, we have 120 people who RSVP, which is amazing, right? For the 5th, and we know this is happening at the Queens College underground space, which I will be meeting with Councilwoman Lynn Schulman's chief of staff, Jonathan, together with the team from Queens College, to discuss a plan for the space. So to those who are part of that committee, we have a chat, all right? Now we're going to get very active with that. We have to request awards. We have to request different things from the other council members, all this good stuff. So I will be needing your help in terms of what we need to do. So on that group, I know we've been laying low a little bit because all the other stuff was something I had to take care of. But now that the fire is out there, we have our special guest, the chancellor, going to be there. We're going to be asking everyone to come there around 8:30, so we could start specifically on exactly on time and get the breakfast going, and then really have like really a good space for all of us to really meet and mingle and really talk about to the legislative staff who's going to be there. Lots of elected officials going to be there, which is good. What we want, we have like 3 co-sponsors. Gennaro, we have Schulman, and we also have the borough president co-sponsoring this event with us this year. Big improvement, big jump from last year, which is, it's amazing. It's amazing that what we're doing as a team here in D28. I'll answer questions about the breakfast right after I take Barbara's question or comment. Barbara?
Just wanted to ask, did we include some of the high schools, not all of the high schools? I just wanted to know, because I want to know if my principal accepted and if she got the invitation.
Dorina, you have that list, yeah?
I sent the invitation numerous times to the, remember we had the high school town hall?
Yes.
So I took that list and I sent it over. And I think Hillcrest responded, they're going to be there. And Thomas Edison will send someone because the principal cannot make it, but we'll send someone to represent his school.
If there's a high school that you specifically would like us to invite, you think they should be a partner of ours and we should invite them. Our goal is to invite,
high school, sorry.
our goal is to invite like the majority of the high schools in our district, but we can't guarantee to invite the whole school, you know, we can't invite everybody, right? Of course, right? Then our message becomes diluted and it doesn't become purposeful for D28 anymore. But Barbara, for sure, if there's a principal or a school that you think we should invite and they didn't get an invite, they should have, let us know. Fair enough?
Okay, so I had put that I was bringing a +1, so I'll bring my principal. It's okay.
But please let us know which school it is, because we want to make sure that school is invited, right? From the CEC.
Hillside Hearts and Letters Academy and 358. That's it. I know 358 doesn't have a principal, so I'm not sure what's going on over there. Okay. So I don't know, you know, if they did reply or not. But for my school, it's Hala.
Okay. Let's send the, if you don't mind, Dorina, you know that information? You know those what school numbers is Hala and all that stuff?
If one of the school doesn't have a principal, maybe I can get an email to send to someone else.
So that's Barbara and you will communicate offline. It's not too late, Barbara, and we'll definitely make it happen, right? The idea is to be inclusive, not exclusive, but inclusive and exclusive too. So Elena, we do believe Forest Hills. Of course, Barbara. Thank you for bringing it up. Elena, Forest Hills High School was invited. Definitely all council members. Can you please send a special email, a reminder to your schools or any schools you know and say, hey, just a reminder, it's happening on the 5th. Can you please RSVP if you haven't done so as yet? Also to the PTA presidents, this is the first time we're inviting them. We really want them to be part of this and really highlight their work. Let's incentivize them, and let them be part of this amazing celebration. The PTA presidents and their vice presidents, it'll be nice to have them all there, the parent coordinators. We need your help, council members, to really help us do this. Any other, so Lou Zhao, a question about, was it Lou's question about the breakfast and the financial thing? Was that a question? I forgot, sorry.
Yeah, but that was answered, right? I mean,
yes. Anyone else has a question about the breakfast?
Yeah.
Thank you, Lou. Anyone else has a question about the breakfast? If you council members have an RSVP, please do so. I have sent messages. Dorinda has sent messages. You are allowed to bring a +1, anybody you want, and many of you have responded, but some of you have not. Please respond and say on the video or not. I mean, this is like, come on, please. Let's do so. Elena, your hands are raised.
Yeah, can we just ask Dorinda to share with us who did RSVP so we can see if our schools did, so it makes it easier for
I
us
would
to not
prefer
double
to
check?
share the list on the public platform like this.
No, not here, but maybe through email, if we can just get a roster so we don't have to bother our busy principals. Like, did you RSVP?
Yeah, I mean, we have that. We definitely have that. She can share. What she could do is share a link to the file. Yeah, a shared file, and you can view it there. Please don't make edits.
Yeah, just make it read only. Don't share.
Yeah, read only. Don't share, and then we could have it like that. Is that fair?
Thank you.
Any other suggestions, ideas, Barbara? Go for it.
Just wanted to ask if we have any, the planning committee have any idea what's on the menu?
So that was a question. That was what I was gonna say last year. So last year we had a good selection of food. Like we had like vegetarian, non-vegetarian. We had food with cheese, without cheese. So this is what I'm gonna be taking like from last year's input. What we did with Latifa, Elena. Who else was on the? Barbara, I think you also was on that committee. Also, I'm not sure. No, it was myself, Elena, Latifa. Somebody else was on it. We planned. We really had a good variety: coffee, juices, teas, bagels, you name it. All from Panera Bread, and it was a big success. But Barbara, did you have a concern or a request or just a question?
Just asking because I know, as most of you know, I don't eat meat.
Okay.
So just checking if it was all meat eaters, so I could know to bring my own lunch.
No, definitely.
Just kidding.
We did definitely have vegetarian options as part of the selections. The one thing that we didn't have that we got feedback on is we didn't have kosher options. And Panera doesn't offer kosher. We did have halal and vegetarian as part of it, but so we need to just discuss this and see if we can get a few kosher options available.
If you get vegan oxtail, I'll eat all of it.
Vegan oxtail, I don't know if that exists, Barbara, but for you, I'm sure we'll grow an oxtail. That's vegan.
Lovely. Thank you so much. Elena, what your question, comment?
That's it. That was it.
Okay,
about
beautiful.
the kosher option.
And I know Dorinda is taking all these notes about what we're mentioning here. So and we didn't get, so we'll definitely take notes of halal and what's the other one, and kosher, and making sure there's no pork and different things. We kind of like try to make it as best as we can. Is it perfect? No, but we're trying our best. FYI.
Yeah, vegetarian, vegan regimen.
Yes. Cheese options, no cheese options, fruits, lots of fruits, a lot of coffee, milk, juice, soda. No soda, okay, I don't know. Rajwinda, go for it.
Yeah, now, apart from the food, are we doing something special for the chancellor? Are we presenting him something?
So
juice, green juice.
Juice, yeah.
I got that covered. I got the green juice. That's gonna keep it coming every year, the green juice. Rajwinda, what are you eating, Rajwinda? You're always cooking and eating, not sharing. Why don't you make a dish for him? All right, let's do this. What do you guys want to do? We cannot spend money from the council on him. He cannot accept no gifts. That's why we couldn't buy Dr. Pei. We can't buy the Sukong. No one. We cannot buy nothing. What he likes a lot. I got this from inside sources. He loves like when students make things for him. So I have an idea where, and I was going to bring it up next, and you brought it up earlier. That's great, Rachunda, that we can reach out to, we can't give him 10 things to carry back, right? But maybe a school or two to prepare a frame, a school budget-wise who can afford, from the PTA, whoever, have the students make something, a collage or something for him from D28 that he'll take back to his office framed back, or whatever ideas you have.
My school has a great art program.
Lovely. Let's do it.
So I could speak to my principal on Monday. I'll be in the school and then I'll get back to you.
Which school is this, Barbara?
It's Hala, Hillside Arts and Letters Academy in the Jamaica campus.
Beautiful. So, and I can always chat with him about what the vision we have, the idea, because I kind of spoke to some people inside his office to understand, like, what does he like? What does he like? You know, best to have something you like, right? And if you can have on his wall, maybe a D28 something from us would be nice. But yeah, we can't spend any of the council's money on it, on anything for him. It's like, you know, conflict of interest stuff. Anyone else has any ideas? Okay, if you do, please send it my way. Barbara, we'll take you up on that idea. I'll wait to hear back from you as soon as possible. Yeah, Simone, don't
invite him to
most
one of-
definitely.
sorry, invite him to like a performance, like a school performance, because it's the end of the year. There are going to be a lot of different like productions happening.
We'd
so
love that.
that
That'd
might
be
be something.
lovely to have some of the students come and perform one item. Would be nice.
I mean, not that the students come to the legislative breakfast, but to formally invite him to attend one of the shows that will be happening during the end of the year.
Well, most definitely, we invited him and his whole team at the end of his celebration. Most definitely. Most definitely. But I will. But the fact that you said that too, can we invite a school? I could talk to a school that I know to PS121 to, if they have a nice dance program there to perform a little performing something. Or do you all know a school? Yeah, anyone else?
I can ask my school. They have lots of
Yeah,
performances.
yeah.
I don't know if they're gonna. I don't know.
Can we both ask? Can we both ask?
We
And who
can
answers
definitely.
first?
I can definitely ask. Yeah.
Ooh,
Because the
nice.
kids would love it for sure. I don't know how the teachers would like it. So
No, but also too, like it's a good nice touch when the kids come, right? And they're there, and this is what we're all doing this for, the children. So it'd be nice to have a nice something there. Yeah, it's fair enough. So Simone, you and I will talk about that. So you ask your school, I'll ask my school, and then we'll collaborate about a performance. Council members dressed to impress, you know. Barbara is coming, you know, so Barbara always dressed to impress. Barbara gonna be there.
Thank you, BJ. I cleaned up nicely. You know, I look real good when I wash my face.
And Ted had a suit. Yes, you do. Always. And Ted had a suit on last year. I had it on something else. I don't know what I had. I don't remember. But yeah, we're doing this, folks. So please dress up. Come to Dress to Impress, or just come. You know, just come. Just be there. We're looking forward to see all of you, and we want you to be there. This is all our work. Okay. Moving along. Simone, go ahead.
I just want to give you a heads up that I won't be able to stay for the entire time because this is the last class I'm teaching on that day, and there's no way I can cancel it, unfortunately. So I'm going to go in probably later so that I can do both, but I will have to leave at some point.
Most definitely. We totally understand. You can be part of the setup crew, so that way we'll have. I'm just joking. We'll all be there, but we also need volunteers at the door, right? There's the registration table, the sign-up table. So all of you are here. We don't want to leave it up in the air. Regina, do we have supplies in the office that we could have name tags or name? Do we have enough of that? So we want to make sure we have the sticky thing. So when people come in, they put their name on it and they stick it on their shoulder.
Last time what we have,
it don't work.
It don't work, yeah.
The sticky thing don't work. I had to put mine on my chest. The last time. It don't stick to your clothes.
That's our old ones. Okay, well, can we figure out something out from now till then, please? I know that works sometimes at other places with the clothes. I don't know.
No, the pins are cheap, VJ. We can probably get the pins and then just write the names when they come in.
Can we get that, Dorinda, from Staples through our thing? And what we do is get the one that clips on, and we have a little bowl at the end when they're leaving. They get struck back in there, so we save.
There you go. That will work.
Is that okay, Dorinda?
I can research.
Yeah, and then they have the ones with a white thingy that you can actually mark on and erase it after, or we have the paper ones. But whatever is easier, simpler, but we can always order ones that's sustainable. Let's see what happens. We can look into it, right? Any other ideas? Feel free, but we definitely need people, staff, and we helpers at the registration table to help us register and get people in. Faster we do that, and the goal is this: come in, get food, start eating. It's going to be an eating event as we have the event. So there's no separate eating and meeting part. It's eat as we go. So that please help us do that so we can do together. We are not going to have a special meeting before that. Okay. Oh, we're going to meet. We are meeting on the night before. Ooh, good, perfect. Yeah.
Monthly meeting, yep.
Yes, beautiful. So we'll finalize everything that night before. Beautiful. Moving along. Discussing pending absentee forms. Ted Chang.
I thought we voted on them last meeting. Do we have any more?
I don't think so. You did Rajwinder's and
Yeah.
Simone's the last
We
meeting.
did, yeah, we did Simone's in advance, so I think we're
And you're
good
gonna
for
do
now.
Cassandra next.
Beautiful. Can we share the council last meeting minutes, please? It was sent out. Thank you all for your feedback on that, and we can agree to improve if you think so. Okay, I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Seconded.
Okay, we good? All right. Okay, so that's pretty much it. And then our last thing here. So any old business team? Okay, any new business? Anyone? Yeah, Chang.
Yeah, I just, it just seems like there's just been so much stuff being thrown at us that we really haven't had all that much time to just kind of do other stuff. But I'd been meaning to, I love the series that Simone helped to coordinate with the with Joanne Cummings. Was that her name, Joanne Cummings?
Yes.
And in D29, and that was great to kind of. I attended one or two of those, but I was thinking that it would be nice to just invite some of our sort of families who have students with disabilities to just kind of talk about their experiences, because I want to hear more from the families in terms of like what the frustrations are that they're experiencing in the system. Because I know even in the meeting that Joanne had hosted, just hearing some of the parents talk kind of gives you a little bit more insight into the obstacles that they face. And I don't really think that those meetings were really there just to hear their obstacles. And I kind of feel like I was thinking maybe like hold an equity committee meeting or something, just really just for the purpose of like, I mean, I'm sure that if we ask them, we say, what kind of obstacles do you have? We might hear a lot of stuff. And I just, I don't know who, and I suspect that's true, not just of families of students with disabilities, but just families in general. And so, but I just thought that, and I know we're kind of busy with like two different meetings, but maybe like sort of towards maybe there might be, maybe we could, have a meeting in June when things are kind of calming down or something, and just, get people to come or invite people to kind of like get things off their chest and just talk about what problems they experience. Because it's really hard to know how to advocate for those families if we haven't heard from them. So that would be, if folks are interested in attending a meeting like that, I could sort of like send an email around, just see what dates work for people, and then do a meeting like in June or something.
Okay, so I think it's a great idea. I think definitely it's a great idea. And can we kill the reaction tab in the chat, in the function, please, and the chat feature also, please? Simone, I saw your hand, so I'll calling you, right? Ted, I think it's a great idea. I think it's an amazing idea. I think also too, we should do it every year. At the end of the school year, have a meeting like this where parents just come and tell us. So, and invite the deputy chancellors, etc., from the different teams to come to that meeting. I think it's a wonderful idea. Would you take the lead on that, Ted, to plan that meeting?
Yeah, no, yeah, and really, I don't think we need to do much for it. It's just there for us to, like, if parents want to describe some of the frustrations they've had, that they can just come to the meeting and we'll be there to listen. And maybe when we hear 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 stories that fit a certain theme, then that gives us an idea of what to advocate for.
100%, 100%. Simone, your hand.
Yes, I think that's a wonderful idea, Ted. And I wanted to reach out to you, so I'm kind of blindsiding you here at that meeting, but you can always say no. I was thinking if the equity committee could also have like a host a meeting with the equity committees in our district, because there are like 4 equity committees, and I'm part of one of them. We have been like connecting and working together, and I think it would be really nice if that could be featured, so that more people, more parents, and also schools in the district know that they exist. But also some of the parents are really, they're not very involved in like PTA and SLT. Some of them are, but I would like to highlight the work they are doing, because they put a lot of their own time and a lot of their heart in this work, and it's not always easy. And so I thought my own school, we had like a small presentation from different equity teams, but it was part of our school. It was and I thought it would be more appropriate if the CEC could host it for the equity committee, and also like reach out to other schools if there are. And we don't know. I know that Adriana, she, in her role as the President's Council president, she reached out to find out if there are other equity teams in our district. We haven't been able to reach out to every school, but yeah, I think that would be nice to just so that they could present the work they are doing.
And Simone, thank you so much for bringing that up and elevating that. Are you thinking of doing like a town hall style kind of meeting, where we invite them to come and share the work that they're doing? And
yeah, just like a small presentation of maybe 5-7 minutes of the work they're doing.
Yeah. Okay, so what we can do is, why don't we just, we could plan. We don't want to have it too close and too much happening at the end of June, right? We just don't want to do that, right? So either we do like Ted's meeting like in the end of May, not like like after, because the breakfast is the beginning of May, right?
Yeah.
And so Ted, maybe we can think about this as soon as possible to do yours maybe the 3rd week of May, right? And then Simone, you can do your thing, and then maybe the 3rd week in June.
Okay.
After our meeting. Does that sound like a good timeline?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Now,
Yeah.
Ted, Ted, you're the equity chair, correct?
Yeah, and Simone, just so you know, like I actually was thinking about, I had the same idea, but I talked to Tanya at 144, and we were kind of talking about like, well, maybe we could invite all the equity folks from the different schools to attend this sort of disabilities meeting. Just to, everyone will be there, but it'll be disabilities focused. So people, and then all the committees could also kind of talk about maybe their just have like a theme for the meeting, as opposed to like, just an equity committee thing, but more like, okay, equity committee on disabilities. Let's talk about disabilities today.
Yeah.
And then maybe like some other meeting, they could talk about a different theme of work, because equity committees are very broad and they do a lot of stuff. So anyways, but that's, if you want to have a separate meeting for a general presentation, that's fine too. But I was thinking as part of this one that we could get them, and if they wanted to talk a little bit about sort of how.
It's okay. I love it.
Such an attention hog. It's just like you have no idea.
I have to say he is much more handsome than you.
I agree 100% on that one. But yeah, no, but just yeah. So anyways, so yeah, so we could have kind of like, it could just be like multimodal, have maybe some equity committee folks if they want to talk about their disability stuff, and we could have, I had somebody who wanted to talk a little bit and do some advocacy, so we have them talking, but I really wanted to, you know, get the parents there by making at least when we advertise it'll be about the parents, and
Okay.
depending on how many show up, you know, then we can sort of modify how many other people are talking. So
Thank you. Simone, you was gonna finish saying something, then call it Barbara, Lou, and then Latifa. So go ahead, Simone.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still working on that restorative practices, restorative justice town hall. I'm still having a little bit of a hard time finding the Queen's rep from the DOE for the restorative justice program. But once I have that contact person, I'm going to reach out to everyone else. And as I have said, I will keep you in the loop. If it doesn't happen in the school year, so be it.
Most definitely.
Okay, I don't want that everyone is like, oh my God,
Thank you.
another. So we'll see.
Thank you, Simone. Barbara, did your hand lower or you lowered it?
I keep lowering my hand because I think you see me. And then I guess.
No, please keep it until I call you, because I'll be confused if you want to speak still or not. So go ahead, Barbara.
Okay, my apologies. I will.
No worries.
So I have this wonderful lady from the York STEP program that I think I want to bring on next month's meeting. She has this program that serve underserved minority groups. She did a presentation at Queens High School President's Council this week and also today at my PA meeting. And I just think that I need for the community, especially Black and brown communities, and the fact that we had some immigrants that came in that might benefit from this free program that she have to offer. They give away school supplies, they have coding, they have SAT prep courses, college now, something like that, college ready now, or some, I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's a wonderful program. Remember last year I actually did put my kids and Dr. Pate's daughter in there. They give them $1,000 for signing up for the program. So I think it's a real good program, but it's basically for underserved communities. So I don't know if we have space on next month's meeting. I could invite her to
please
a presentation.
send us the information. Let her know the time and date at 5 to 7 minutes. And then once she's okay with that, then definitely we could have that on the agenda for sure. Thank you so much, Barbara.
No problem. Because she came today and I had like 8 parents sign up right on the spot. Like,
wow,
they were yeah. I remember last year they gave away school supplies. You know those calculators that the high schoolers use that are cost like $350?
Yes.
They was giving those away for free. Yeah,
Wow.
they was giving those away for free. They give the 5 subject notebooks and basically you get like 3 boxes of school supply before school open.
Mhm.
And it's right there at your college.
Okay, thank you. Lou Jean.
Yeah, actually, about the Simone's idea, bring the equity team from, I believe that's PA's, functionality, right? It's not an official DOE functionality, right? It's a PA equity teams, right? So I do have a problem with that. I think we usually put presentation on real issues, right? The subjects, and even the speaker, the city council speakers representative have to use the 3 minutes of speaking time for the observers, right? So I don't see it's fair to put those team just by themselves. I do agree with Ted's idea. If you have a project, say like IEP presentation, really solid product, you can say, okay, this is sponsored by 303 equity team or 175 equity team. They are doing some organization work. That's okay. because but there has to be a really something that for everybody, you know, a real product, a real issues, subject issues. I don't think it's fair just to give a few group, you know, organizations a time to just, you know, saying, well, we did this wonderful work or something. That's my opinion.
Thank you, Lou. And just to clarify, I think it's not a group, right? It's parent volunteer. I think Simone will clarify. But thank you, Lou. Your hand is up, Lou. Is it lowered now, or that means? Just want to make sure. Lou?
You want me lower the?
Yeah, are you done? I'm saying, are you finished?
Yeah.
Thank you. That's why I keep track, you know. So then it's 10 o'clock at night. So you know, Latifa Lewis.
Yeah.
We were hearing you there. Then you cut out.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
There's no question. Your hands are raised.
Oh, sorry. What was it? I lost my trend of thought. It was on the question that, I think you mentioned to have Simone's event on the 3rd week of June.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, be mindful that is like graduation week for many of the schools. So it's sometimes like a confusing time. Once you get past the 15th of June, it's hard to really sometimes collect people.
Definitely. No, I did throw out things so we don't have. There's nothing on stone. That's a good point. And
Yeah, I think the
Simone,
earlier part of June would be better than the 3rd.
Whenever we get dates, ideas, I mean, you know, no one does anything on their own, right? We're a team. So whenever we do a town hall or an event, we all send out ideas, we look for feedback and dates. So good point raised there. Please always tell us if you're on the right track, folks. So
I just want to quickly clarify, because it sounded like there's some confusion. This is not, I'm not trying to promote District 28 Action for Equity, which is like a parent group that I'm also part of. That is not what I'm doing here. What I was asking TED to do is to host a meeting for those equity teams that are part of the school. Some of them are embedded in PAs or PTAs, but not all of them. And I would like to do this because I feel that the parents have been doing really outstanding work. And I would also like to give them a platform. And I think the CEC would be a great way so that they can share the work they're doing. I agree that it might be better to have it under a certain topic. So we give them a topic and they should present what kind of work they have done around that topic. I personally, as I can only speak for the 303 equity team, it's a racial equity team. We haven't done any work around disability as of yet. That might change, but we haven't done it, so we would not be able to present anything. I also would not want to take this valuable time from the parents who you wanted to invite to listen to their concerns. So I would really like, I think it would be good if we could separate it.
Yeah. And what you could do, Simone, is really send an email out, right? And then say, hey, folks, here's the idea. This is what my intentions are. This is the groups I'm planning to, you know, because we want to make sure there is no, you know, we want to make sure we are addressing and also listening to the concerns of council members, but also to be transparent about what's happening, which is, thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, and I'm sorry that I wasn't clearer on that, Lou. I don't want to promote any one single group in our district. And we spoke about that we want to be balanced.
Yes.
So in that case, we would also have to invite other parent groups, but those are school-based. They are part of the school community.
Right. And I want to make sure we do not invite groups, right? So there are there's a bunch of parent leadership advocate groups. And since its inception, when I became president of this council way back then, we made it very clear to really not, because they tend to be polarized in districts in different areas of things, and we will not support one over the other. Or if we're going to invite one of them for anything, we have to invite all. So for that reason, we will not engage in the you know, individual groups and the initiatives. You are more welcome as a member, as a personal person to do so, but not on the CEC platform when we host events from the CEC. I think we're all on the same page about that, and that's great. the last new business I have is I would like to host a town hall, as you all know, right? Like diversity, like GNT, like everything else that we did. Like I've always hosted town halls to gather public feedback. And I'm afraid that the class size matter agenda is moving along very fast. And you know how things happen, right? A lot of times they'll say, oh, here is the decisions. By whom? Right? And I feel like D28 has a lot to gain or lose in this process, but also too, we are affected in a big way by class size and space. So I feel before the school year ends, I would love to host a town hall from the CEC with, of course, all of your support or contributions, where we invite, you know, speakers of both sides of the topic, and also too to invite the community to give us feedback, and those who could come in there, and I'll invite the rest of the working group to also be there to take feedback, because our district I think has a lot at stake, like all other districts. I think I'm representing my district, right? What do you all think? Anyone disagree? Okay.
Great idea.
All right, so I'll plan that, okay? And Natifa, thank you for the date, for that, what you told me about the date for June. So and again, this is gonna be like maybe on a Thursday night. Anyone here is not available on Thursday night at all? Thursday evening from 6 to 8:30.
You asking every Thursday evening?
No, of course not. Well,
Oh.
anyone here? No, like generally, like I know Natifa
It
teaches, Simone
depends on the week.
teaches.
It depends on the week. Like I have
Mm.
different
It depends.
weeks. Like I reserve first week for this. I have the last week I have a different PTA the second week. So my most available is normally the third Thursday. To be honest,
Third Thursdays. Anyone else have any very strict, like anything that does not work for them?
Not available on the third Thursday of every month. That's my PA. And I'm available from 7 o'clock until up. From 7 till 7 the next morning.
Anyone? A Wednesday's definitely off the book. Wednesdays are for sure no. Anyone?
2 Wednesdays in the month of May, and I'm traveling.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do.
so, I mean, the time also makes a difference. So like Barbara, for example, said she's not available on the third Thursday, but that's before 7, right?
Right, it's definitely gonna be after 6, like 6:30 is.
You got that. You was listening, Natifa, yes.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, no, so like Barbara is saying that she's available on that third Thursday, but at 7. And we've had events at 7. Like, I mean, if there's
No, that's not what I'm saying. On the third Thursday, I'm not available. That's my PA meeting. I'm not
but
sure how long it's
the
gonna
rest
last.
is after 7. Okay.
Yeah. But any other Thursday after that, after 7 o'clock.
Okay, so what I want to do, like we always did in the past, is send a
Thank
few
you,
dates,
Natifa.
and we can't please everyone, and we try our best to get. If most members can attend, that's what we aim for, right? We can't aim to do it for everybody. That's going to be my goal, to make sure we can all attend. I'll send maybe 1 or 2 dates, and then we could go back and forth a little bit, and then we can say, okay, this is the date, because I have to plan, okay, ahead of time, who will be the panelists, who will be the people who will invite, but it'll be a town hall to really gather feedback from class size, and the working group to take feedback as we plan ahead, because there are various ideas about this.
I mean, I don't know if anybody raised it, but I like the Wednesday. I'm not available early, but afterwards I have more flexibility. I don't know if anyone has strict conflicts on Wednesday. So I know you mentioned Wednesday.
So how about if I send some Wednesdays and Thursdays? Is that fair?
Okay. Yeah,
Wednesdays
my
and Thursdays?
Thursday is just one day that's available, but Wednesdays I'm pretty much free. I don't know if how it works for other people.
Okay.
Do you use one of those, what is it, Calendly, or one of those apps that like you can select
doodle
dates?
poll
Yeah,
thing?
Calendly,
Thing?
yes, send us a Calendly invite and we can select, and you can look at the poll and see where you have most consensus.
Yeah.
Awesome. We go in places. All right, so we're good. We have to think about graduation, and last year we had a big, robust, which was beautiful. Those kids loved it, the schools loved it, where we gave certificates at the end of the year. So Dorinda, I know this is something that takes a lot of work, but we have a system already in place from last year. which did work. And I'm assuming that principal is going to want it also. So for new business, I would like us to start thinking about the certificates from the CEC. So maybe what we should send a little preliminary email to the principals asking them, hey, you're allowed to have maybe not unlimited, maybe 10 max per school. Because let's say that some people ask for a lot, right? I don't remember, but we could discuss offline, Dorinda, about like what would be best practice, what we learned from last year. And just to ask you, council members, did you like the idea of how you went to your schools and presented it? Did that work well for you?
Yeah, for me, it worked well. And some of my schools were really nice. They asked me to speak a little bit, and you know, it was a beautiful thing for, I think, everyone.
Thank you. That was the goal. The goal was to have you, the council member who had a liaison for those schools, to really go there and, you know, speak on behalf of yourself and share lovely things. And it's beautiful. Barbara.
It was a wonderful idea, though I didn't get to go to my school because the graduation was on the same day my daughter was graduating. So I had to choose which one I could go to. But I think that was a wonderful idea.
So hopefully this year you can go to yours. And the idea is to go to your schools with your certificates. And if you can't go to your school, one of us could fill in based on when the graduation is, the time, etc. They're really happy when we go. I was a keynote speaker for one of the graduations, 2 of them actually, and they were so happy that we came and supported them and really thought about this idea. And the kids really were happy about that. So, okay, Dorinda, let's mark it down for you and I to talk about sideline. Okay, we covered all. Elena.
Can we get the calendar of all the graduations in our district? Because I personally have 2 graduations for my own kids this year, and I loved the experience last year going to graduations. It was truly awesome. But obviously, I think with all of us trying to make it to at least one, and me having 2 personal graduations with my kids out of middle school and high school, it might be a challenge. So we might need to coordinate across all of us ahead of time.
We can send an email out to all the principals, and then we can remind them at the breakfast also.
Sorry, during
the breakfast.
Well, yeah, maybe at the breakfast we can have a sheet.
Ask them right there as they're coming along. Can you print out the sheet, Elena?
They might not know. That's a problem because they probably are not in tune.
They should know. They should know, right? The parent coordinator should know.
They should.
At this point, they should know. The calendar is planned already, I think. But anyways, we can use both ways. We can use the one at the email. Hey, when is your graduation? So we can accommodate you in the same email that asking for how many certificates you want, right? But and during that we'll talk about that email, and then we can also have a confirmation sheet at the breakfast as a check-in, confirming this is the date and time and location.
Perfect. Thank
Awesome, awesome. We got this. Anything else? Anyone going once? Wait 1 second. Sorry.
One question.
Anything else? Here. Oh, okay. Let me make sure I'm not. Okay, beautiful.
One question.
Yeah. Can you all also reach out to your schools too, or maybe ask your schools when you are there at the SATs, or if you have communication with the schools that you liaison with, you can also ask them and send us the information, right? We can take that also and send to Dorinda. Go ahead.
What do we need to do to onboard Adriana? Does she need to go like be sworn in?
So at this point, we'll fast forward it now to BB, to Face.
Okay.
There's this paper she has to sign, and then to get clearance, well, let's say she signed it and notarize it. So then that she could be she could speak at the next meeting. Right? Simone, you were the last person who came in.
Yes, exactly. And we need to ask BB to do it quickly because it took some time for me to receive that.
We're on it.
Because it's only 2 weeks from now that we have our next meeting.
We're on it.
Good.
So tomorrow morning I'll reach out to BB tonight. It's kind of late. Tomorrow to like onboard her ASAP so we can have an active member at our next meeting, and she could speak and be part of the meeting as well. Very well. So the time now is
all they had to do is just email her the form. I mean, then she can just notarize it.
Yeah. And then she notarizes and gets it back. But that's you're right, that's all. But sometimes, like Simone said, like we have a witness, we have an experienced person who's speaking here. That we hope. It's 9:43 p.m. and we're gonna call this business meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you. Just stopped the recording.